did I miss? Did I miss something? Did somebody say something and I didn't see it? Hold on, let me check. I don't think so, but I figured I should just check just to make. Oh, no, the stream elements. Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss somebody saying something. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Looks good. I think everything's good here. Yeah, okay, and we're live. Okay, cool. Alrighty, I don't think I need to check anything. I think we're okay. Audio looks good. Yeah, I think we're good. Hi, how you doing? How you be? Top to the AB, and I hope everybody had a good Sunday. Well, okay, everybody except for Philly. but yeah, no, I saw well parts of the Dallas game until it just started to get kind of ridiculous. And basically they don't Dallas always has a tendency of not making you feel good before the playoffs. Like you feel like it's going to be a one and done like every single time as a player or as a fan. And now they got to go against Brady at Brady. Oh my goodness. And I was like, man, maybe I should try to go to that game, but like it's in Tampa and like all of my stuff is like in Orlando, so like it's a long drive, well, a long flight, and then I got to make sure my internet works and yeah, it's just it would be a pain, but I'm thinking about it. But yeah, that's gonna be harsh, man. So I don't know. I don't even know how I feel about it. But you know, Brady at Brady. I mean, it's kind of like playing Aaron Rodgers at Aaron Rodgers. That's tough, man. But yeah, hope everybody had a good day at work. Just a quick format breakdown of what we do here. So basically we troubleshoot issues as they come along. If you have any issues, be sure to put them in the chat. It's right next to me, so I should see it. And we can kind of take it from there and work your issues that way. Also, I'll be troubleshooting issues in the chat as well. So I kind of have it set up now that I can actually do full troubleshooting the entire stream, and then I'll start setting up streams where I game and just straight up game because I don't have gaming content. So now I have to separate them, and I think that's kind of the best way to go about it. And so basically have streaming content and a streaming setup with events, and then a gaming setup with events, and we kind of just alternate. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's probably the best way to grow my gaming channel and the tech channel. So kind of just doing them both. So that means that there's a possibility that the hours may change, but it's pretty unlikely. I may just do like Monday through Friday and then Saturday, Sunday gaming. That may be better. And that way I have Monday through Friday, 7 to 10 p.m. Central, and then Saturday, Sunday, 7 to 10 p.m. Central for gaming. We may do something like that, but we'll see how it goes. Let me see something real quick here. Alrighty. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get started. Hope everybody had a good day at work, or if you were off, congratulations. I am so happy for ya. Alrighty, so this is a screen of nothing. So we'll just go ahead and get started here. All right. I'm not even sure what this is. Okay, cool. So I guess we'll just get started with what I see here. So everything looks good here. So okay, cool. So this is posted by Ultra Midget Spinner. Ultra Midget Spinner writes, weird UI fitment issue weird UI fitment in latest update. Anyone else got a weird issue with Android 13 One UI 5.0 where UI don't always fit in the screen? I have a Samsung Galaxy A52s 5G. Notice some interactions are broken too, like Zoom. Well, no, I haven't run into that. But that's not even an issue. That's more of a question, really. UI fitment or issues with Zoom. Yeah, issues and fixes. So they may be having some bugs with their software. That's kind of perfect way to get rid of all the bugs. Yeah, we'll just link them this page here. There's not a whole lot to say because I mean I haven't experienced it, but I mean I don't have that. I haven't updated. So, well, there is a page where they talk about the bugs of this particular update. You can check there and see if you find anything that can point to the issue you are currently experiencing. I switched keyboards to something a little bit quieter. I want to see how this sounds in audio. Let me know what you guys think. This is one of the quietest keyboards I have. That's still really, really good. It also gives me 2 USB ports. So, but it's wired, whereas my other keyboard was wireless and Bluetooth. So it's, where'd my other keyboard go? Oh, it's over here. So the keyboard that I use was the Death Adder. Was it Death Adder or Black Widow? So Black Widow has a pro version, which is this guy here. That is wireless and Bluetooth, so you don't need any cables. And that has been really good because, like, if you work, you can have your Bluetooth set up to the Mac, and then you can have the wireless set up to your computer, so that you can game and work from the same keyboard and mouse without having to mess with it. But a lot of times I find myself using the Mac keyboard instead of this guy whenever I'm working. So I don't really need it, but I liked having no cables because it looked cleaner on my desk. But the noise is starting to annoy me. So we'll see how this one works. And I mean, it's kind of hard to get quieter than this guy here. This is the Cooler Master K850 or something. But we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, I hope that helps, Ultra Midget Spinner. Not really sure on that one. That's not really so much of an issue, more so of a question. This is from Cam Reno. RTX 4070 Ti rotting on shelves. That 4070 Ti, man, it was kind of a stupid launch. I think Nvidia shot themselves in the foot. So when they first announced it and they called two 4080s 116, 112, and they were clearly different. Everyone and their mama knew they were talking about the 4070 Ti. I even made a video about it. Everybody made a video about it. Obviously, that card, that 12 gig card, was the 4070 Ti. And then the launch, they were like comparing it to the 3090 Ti. They said it's 3 times faster than games. I can tell you right now, the 4090 isn't 3 times faster than the 3090 Ti. I'll tell you that right now. It's faster. It's like maybe 50%, 60%, something like that, depending on the game. But it ain't no 3 times faster in certain game. No. 4090 is an excellent card though, but it's not about to sit here and smash the 3090 Ti. The 3090 Ti is excellent card. But it's more like a 50 to 60% between the 4090, which means the 4070 Ti is like 20%, 30%, trading blows on par, somewhere in that area. So it's more so equivalent to like a 3080, 3090. So, you know, it's kind of an interesting one. Like, it tries to trade blows with it, but it's not really all that great. If you have a 3090 or a 3090 Ti, I really see no point in upgrading to a 4070 Ti. You get nothing for all that money you spend. So it was just a really crazy launch, and I just don't understand why they did that. I mean, it gets smashed by the XTX, so I don't know. It just I wish the UK had large PC component stores like this. Yeah, it's kind of a weird one, man. Micro Center I haven't been to Micro Center lately, but I would imagine that the 4070 Tis was just sitting there rotting. I mean, I've seen 4080s sitting there, so the only one that really sold was the 4090s and kind of 4080s and the XTX. But everything else kind of didn't really sell that well. Alrighty. All right, so this one's from Memorable Handle. Who? Memorable Handle writes, some partitions not showing up on new PCs. So I have a secondary drive installed on my old PC with 2 existing partitions, along with some free unallocated space. If I remove the hard drive, connect to a USB adapter, and connect it to my new laptop, the existing partitions do not seem to exist, even in Disk Manager tool. The free unallocated space is all that shows up. Why is this, and how can I access the other partitions from the laptop? Okay, so I have a secondary drive installed on my old PC with 2 existing partitions, along with some free unallocated space. Installed on my PC with 2 existing. Okay, was this a boot drive? Okay, so sorry. So what? Oh, it's way quieter. Oh, that sounds nice. So was this a boot drive? If so, those extra drives, those extra partitions don't matter anyway. Well, but okay, so I'm guessing he only has one. How big are they? How big are they? This is one of those ones where if you can't see it in Disk Manager, it's better to troubleshoot the solution than troubleshoot the problem. And you'll see what I'm saying when I type this. Like, if so, those extra partitions don't matter anyway. How big are they? You may be able to move them to a thumb drive temporarily, then wipe the drive and re-add them back if that is quicker. You know, so it's kind of an interesting one. Like he would have to show me exactly, like, if it's only like 500 megabytes, or if it's like just some root directory. I mean, like, generally people are talking about issues or upset about partitions if it's partitions they need. But typically, if it was a external drive, there's only one partition. Like, it's rare that people make multiple partitions. So in this case here, he's either talking about a Windows boot drive that has those 2 extra drive partitions and he doesn't see it in Device Manager, which is a possibility, or he's talking about an external drive that he's been using as an external drive. But if that was the case, it wouldn't have multiple partitions anyway. So if he's talking about extra partitions, more than likely they're partitions he doesn't really care about. But he's making the post, so maybe he does, or maybe he's just kind of concerned that his thumb drive or that his drive may be corrupted or something. If so, those partitions don't matter anyway. How big are they? You may be able to move them to a thumb drive temporarily, then wipe the drive and re-add them back. As for the issue itself, try moving it to a different port to see if they pop up. Preferably USB 3. All right, so we'll go with that. Very safe. It's not the best answer in the world, but it's a good answer for him. For a drive issue. You know, when it's a drive issue and you're trying to figure out what happened to your partitions, a lot of times and you're trying to move it to a new computer and you know you won't be going back to the old one, a lot of times it's best just to move it to a thumb drive, wipe it, and bring it back, depending on the situation, especially if it's small. But if it's big, like it's a gigantic 2 terabyte drive and you have like 1 terabyte of stuff, then I get it. But if it's a small drive, man, like why are we playing games? Like, just go ahead and move it to a thumb drive, or move it to your laptop, and then, well, okay, your laptop can't see it, but move it to another drive or a thumb drive, and then move it to your laptop, or move it back to the drive once you wipe it. You know, so it really kind of depends on what we're dealing with here. Now, if he told me that he had an 8 terabyte drive, all bets are off, okay? But most people don't have 8 terabyte drives, so I'm not about to sit here and pretend like he probably does. He doesn't. It's very rare. Alrighty, so this is from Avaz. Okay, somebody already put up a comment there. Avaz writes, he has a Xiaomi Note 10 Lite. The phone doesn't work after my brother was playing a game on it and the phone ran out of battery. I tried the volume down power button method. It doesn't work. Of course, I've tried charging the phone. What else should I try? Please help me. I'm desperate. Okay, so he pressed the volume down power button to see if he can get it to power on, but it didn't. And he's already tried to power it. Okay. Question. When you plugged it into power, did the screen pop on indicating that it was charging? Secondly, a word? We'll just say also. Also, with this phone, can you hook it up to a PC to see if it's detected? The reason why we're saying, okay, there's a reason for this, okay? So the reason why we're saying hook it up to a PC to see if it's detected, he's saying, hey, I've tried to press power and it's not turning on, I'm desperate, help, blah, 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 blah. It also could be that his screen just died. So if his screen just died and you plug it into the PC and the PC sees it, then more than likely it's a dead screen. So that's the reason why we're saying that, because it's kind of hard for you to understand, see if whether or not it's a dead screen. Remember what he just did. He said, I held down the power and volume down. He may have no volume, so he may not know if the thing is on, if the screen is dead. So it's a possibility that the phone is actually on, his screen is just dead, which may be the issue, but the only way you can know that is if you hook it up to a computer. If the computer sees it, his screen is dead. If the computer does not see it, his phone is dead. And I'm not laughing at his issue. I'm laughing about that's how you would troubleshoot. It's an interesting way of troubleshooting this issue, right? Because it's like, okay, well, he pressed power and volume down, which normally means that he tried to power it on. That's like a hard shutdown on Android phones. But if he missed, or if he mistyped it or mispressed it, then there's a possibility he could have just muted himself and not even have known it. Because holding down volume down and power doesn't necessarily turn off certain phones. Like some Androids, you hold those two down, all it really does is give you a screen that has the option to restart, shut down, and turn off. Or restart, shut down, and something else. But that's what it may do. So in this case here, he may have just turned the volume down and doesn't know that his phone is actually on. But the only way to figure that out is by hooking it up to a PC. If it detects it, it's possible you have a dead screen and you muted the volume so you didn't know it. Yeah, that's clean. So this one is try a different charger and cable. It's possible that the charger or cable you're using is damaged or not working properly. Try using a different charger and cable to see if that helps. Check the charging port. Yeah. Charging. And that's fair. I'm glad ours is a little different. Trying to the PC. I think that this is that's pretty pro. I'm gonna take that one. I'm gonna take that one. That was kind of interesting. All right, Avaz, I hope that helps. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one. Ooh, Thermaltake has an SFXL. That's 1,000 watt. That's, oh, and it has a 12 pin. Huh. I may have to buy this. Where is it at? Like, where's it at? Like, I've never seen this. Okay. Thermaltake SFXL, 1,000 watt. Thermaltake SFXL, 1,000 watts. Oh, they already have it. It's $249. What? Bro, I paid $400 for my power supply. It was like 3 something, but it's an 80 plus gold. Oh, well, I mean, if it's an 80 plus gold, then what's the point? That's really, just call it an 850 watt power supply at that point. 80 plus gold is like 86% efficiency, 83% efficiency, 84. So, I mean, if it's that level of efficiency, then why are we playing games here? Just call it what it is. It's a 850 watt power supply. But yeah, it's not going to be better than that, than the 1,000 watt platinum from what was it? I guess it is Thermaltake. But yeah, that's interesting. It looks nice, but it's SFXL for sure. Even though it doesn't say it, but yeah, that's SFXL. The naming is misleading. It's SFX is not SFXL. I've been looking for a high-end SFX PSU, and this piece of crap keeps coming up as a result. It's not good for my build. It's not useful in a tiny build where SFX is required, but could be ATX. I've never known them to have an SFXL that actually has that 12 pin. Obviously, the 12 pin's new, so it could have just came out, but they call it an SFX. That's interesting. They ought to put the L in the name. That's a possibility that it's just it may be truly an SFXL, but that's cool. It's something to look into. I may look into that later. But trying to find the best power supply has been a journey. Alrighty, let me figure out my little portable fan that makes no noise. There we go. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. So this is from More Furry Than Human. Okay. Why don't you just call yourself a furry and just call it, get it over with. Windows has encountered a problem communicating with a device connected to your computer. Error. Is my hard drive dead? Try replacing the SATA cable, which did nothing. I can still boot off my SSD fine and can hear the hard drive turning itself on. I thought you said it was SSD. Turning itself on whenever I turn on the PC. Oh, okay, you may see a light or something. It's recognized sometimes, changes between restarts in my BIOS, but Windows does not recognize it anywhere. Is my hard drive completely dead, or is there any way to recover this? Also tried booting in a safe mode. Hard drive still isn't detected. Figured I should mention that I reinstalled Windows onto my boot drive SSD, and before that, it was detected my HDD around 70% of the time. Similarly, my BIOS currently, now it doesn't detect it at all. Okay, so this is an internal SSD I take. Okay. He said he installed Windows on it. Okay, but if you install Windows on it, I tried booting in a safe mode. How are you going to boot in a safe mode if it doesn't detect the drive? Oh, that's actually really good. Okay. Is my hard drive completely dead, or is there any way to recover fix this? I also tried booting into safe mode. Hard drive still isn't detected. But you said you tried to put Windows on it. Okay, so it's not your boot drive, not anymore. But you tried to put Windows on it. Oh, that I reinstalled Windows onto my boot drive SSD, and before that, it was detecting my HDD around. Okay. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. I can still boot off my SSD fine. And I can hear the hard. Okay, so he has an issue with his hard drive, not his SSD. Okay, I'm being sick. Okay. You have an issue with your HDD, not your SSD. Got it. So if you hear it spinning up but don't detect it in Windows, go to Start Disk Manager and see if you see it there. If it's not there, more than likely it may be a drive that has gone bad or has corrupted what are they called? Disk cylinders, partitions. We'll call it partitions, whatever. Nobody's gonna cuss me out about it. Or has corrupted partitions, has gone bad or has corrupted partitions. If it's not there, more than likely. But you can try a different SATA port on your motherboard to see if you get better results. Okay, that is much quieter. I think it's much quieter. I'll notice once I look over the video. But that's super quiet. So hopefully that's a little bit more pleasing to the ears than razor. Green. All right, that's what I would do for this one here. Not too crazy, but I mean, if it's not in Disk Manager, then more than likely that hard drive is dead. But I mean, hard drives die. I mean, they just don't live very long. Well, some do, but it's a hard drive, so you know, it's just one of those things. Hard drives can die. Ooh, a help. A Legion. Okay. I'm ready. Okay, not Mr. Elon Musk writes, help! My laptop's keyboard is randomly dying with only one weird solution currently. Oh, what is up with us getting all these laptop with keyboard and mouse dead? I don't even know if that other guy's in here. There's like 30 tickets, but whatever. I think he may still be in one of these. I grab all the ones from yesterday and I just add them, and then I start adding all this other stuff, and then I add all this extra stuff, and then I shuffle them. So I'm not sure where it's at, but we may run into it. I think I saw it though. Help, my laptop's keyboard is randomly dying with only one weird solution currently. I have a Lenovo Legion Wi-Fi 40. It runs on Windows 11. Did a clean install today with nothing else on the laptop. In the last few months, the keyboard sometimes didn't work. Keyboard lights still work. Can even change profiles with Alt Spacebar. Not a single key works. No numlock or caps locks. First 3 times it resolved after save booting Windows. Since today, nothing worked. Even resetting didn't do anything. Believe it or not, the single thing that works is making sure my battery is completely drained. And after plugging in the wall and booting it up, it will work. However, when I restart my PC, the keyboard is dead again, and I need to drain the battery again to make it work again. Any tips on how to resolve this? I'm out of luck and can't purchase a new laptop. I need it for my study. All right. Okay, let's think about this. So he has the laptop where his keyboard stops working and he can't press anything. Well, okay. Well, a loss of a keyboard isn't really the biggest deal in the world. And on top of that, it's a keyboard that's attached to his laptop. So he can check Device Manager to see if it has a problem with it, with his mouse. So what I would say would be to go to Start Device Manager, search for it. Then here, what is it called? I think it's just straight up keyboard, isn't it? It may be. I don't remember. Keyboard. Yeah. Then here, go to keyboard and try to check for updates. Also, when it stops working, is it here under the keyboard tab, or is the keyboard tab gone completely? I take it your mouse is fine when your keyboard is dead. Let us know. Thanks. See, that's clean right there. Okay, he never mentioned his mouse is dead. Okay, so if his mouse isn't dead, then go to Device Manager and see when your keyboard is dead, is your keyboard in Device Manager. If your keyboard isn't in Device Manager at all, when your keyboard is dead, then your keyboard is having a short, more than likely. And so you draining the battery drains the capacitors, therefore it works for a little bit when it comes back up, but it still has a short. So I think there may be a short going from your keyboard to your motherboard, and that may be causing your issue. So is there anything that you can do? Yeah, you can try to see if you have a warranty, you can try to get them to take care of it. But if you don't have warranty, then you just got to get an external keyboard. Is kind of the solution to this issue. But yeah, sounds like you have a short. Oh, I probably should say that. Also, sounds like you may have a short, which would explain the symptoms. I sound like a medical professional. I'll take it. Based on your symptoms, it sounds like you have a short between the keyboard and the motherboard. Let us know, bro. What's his name? Not Elon Musk. Let us know. Ooh, fancy. Ooh, that's I don't know how I feel about that. Cause I mean, trying to pull air from the ground is just really hard for that kind of a CPU or that kind of a chassis build. Now, of course, if there's some fan ducts here, I don't know on the NR200. NR200. I don't know on the NR200 if this is actually if you can put fans here, but it's a little suffocating for RTX 4090, man. But that's a big boy to be putting down at the bottom like that. To feel some small and confined. Yeah, it really does. Which is compatibility. I mean, the specs. I mean, the X570i Strix. That bro. I mean, good lord. With a 5900X and the NH212 Chromax is nice. And G-Skill 16 gigs, 980 Pro, 1 terabyte, and a VA50. The white one? No, he has the black one. And then he has the RTX 4080 Founder Edition. I mean, I like those Founder Edition cars. They look really pretty, but I don't like the size aside on the fan because it puts you in such a bad situation when you're talking about any case in general. Because one of those fans are going to be suffocated. If you look at like just every ITX case, one of those fans are going to get suffocated. And then you look at every mid-tower case, one of those fans are probably going to get suffocated. So it's a really hard situation you put yourself in when you have it on both sides like that. I feel like it only gets like half the cooling whenever you do that. On top of that, this guy here is just going to have a real bad time at it. So it's kind of not ideal for this kind of a build, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I get that. But I think what would probably be best for him is if he left this front off. Just leave it alone. Just let it just get air that way. That would probably help him a whole lot. But I mean, you know, pro build, bro, I guess. It's a good build. It's just, man, that 4080 puts you in a tough spot when it comes to ITX builds. Karenator writes, internet being extremely slow only on my computer though. Oh, I like that. Internet being extremely slow, only on my computer though. For the past few months, I keep having internet issues, but only on my computer. I have optimum 1 gig internet, and it works perfectly on my phone and my family's devices. It could be an issue with my Wi-Fi card, but I was wondering if there's another solution that has to do with software before I sink money into a new Wi-Fi card. Okay, your internet is extremely slow, but everybody else's is good. And you have 1 gig, and it works perfectly on my phone and my family's devices. But I was wondering if there's another solution that has to do with software before I sink money into a new Wi-Fi card. Um, well, well, what's your speed? Go to speedtest.net and run a test and see what the difference is from your cell phone and other devices. If it's something ridiculous in comparison to theirs, then try to hook up directly to see if it makes a difference. Well, okay. It's Karenator, so it's a possibility that she doesn't want to be wired. So there's no point in saying this. So what's your speed? Go to speedtest.net and run a test to see what the difference is from your cell phone and other devices. That way we know what we're dealing with. Next, see if there are any Windows updates for your wireless adapter. Any Windows updates for your wireless adapter. Or if there is a software or BIOS update you can go to. This may be a little bit strong. And somebody said that to me, I'd be like, you may be right on that. It's more of a gauging question. If they can't do it, they can't do it. I'm okay with that. I just kind of put that in there just to see what she'll say. But it's a gauging question. It's not meant for her to actually do it, because if she is able to do it, then that's sweet, updating the software and the BIOS. But if she doesn't know how, then I'll know right then and there without having to be too, too into it. But yeah, it's just a probing question. It's okay if she doesn't answer it. Really, I just want to know this. This tells me everything I need to know. Like, for example, if you get 1 gig down and everybody else is somewhere around 760 megabits per second and you're like at 20, then that lets me know that your Wi-Fi card is just kind of nerfed, and the only thing that you can really do is try to update the drivers and see what's popping. If you update the drivers to the most up-to-date version and you still have a problem, then yeah, you just have a weak wireless card and you may have to get a new wireless adapter. So, and then on top of that, telling her to hook up wired is probably not the best idea. Most people, especially like women in laptops and stuff like that, and that's not to try to cast aspersions on gender or anything like that. I'm just saying, people who have laptops and lighter devices typically want them wireless. So it doesn't really matter if it's a woman or a man or whatever. It's just that if they have a laptop and it's light, they typically want them wireless. So you telling them to be wired isn't really going to help them much, because most of the time, most people who have laptops want to be wireless. So that's why I was like, there's no point in trying to tell them to go wired, because everybody else is fine. Now, if she said that no, everybody else has this issue too, now we would say, okay, go ahead and hook up wired. That way we can try to test the router. But if everybody else is okay except for her, then there's no point in me trying to tell her to go wired. It's not going to do much, because she's not going to want to stay that way. Most people won't that have laptops. Alrighty, Karen. Hope that helps. Keep us posted. I'll probably see her tomorrow. All right, so this is from Obamala. Obamala writes, Samsung LED 55, how to reset network settings. How do I do that? I only found tutorials for older versions. What is this? Samsung LED 55? Is that a 55-inch television? How to reset network settings? Network settings? you shouldn't need to reset it. You shouldn't need to reset it. Just change it to whatever it needs to be. How do I do that? I can only find tutorials for older versions. Well, I don't have a Samsung LED 55. Setup network. How do your TV's remote? So like settings, general network. Settings, general network. Okay, cool. So more than likely, you should be able to go to settings, general network. Settings, general network, and choose whatever Wi-Fi connection you want to move it to from there. Is it preventing you from doing so? Need more information. Because they shouldn't do anything that should hurt you. And on top of that, you know, there is the option to restore to default settings, and that will do it, but also change the picture and all that kind of stuff. And I just don't see a point. Generally, I've never run into a TV that stops you from changing the network. So there's no point in trying to just straight up reset the network settings. Just choose a different SSID when you're in the Wi-Fi screen. But yeah, that's what I would say to this. So yeah, just give us some more information, because I'm not about to sit here and tell you to reset the whole TV and change all your color profiles just because you're trying to have a network issue. Like, I don't really see a point. Alrighty. This is from Cool Dude 72. A friendly reminder to name your drives. Little Nas. Oh, that is. Oh, Little Nas X. I just noticed that. And this one is for the champions. Okay, got it. All the drives mounted on the back of the case could be called Horse 1, Horse 2. That Little Nas X was hilarious. Ryzen 7 5800X and RX 6800 XT. Didn't even think of that. Yeah, that is hilarious. A friendly reminder, name your drives. And on top of that, it's a network drive. That is, wow. The P drive, we already know what goes in that drive. Your drive's kind of... I'm not even. That's so hilarious. That is so hilarious. That's wrong, man. That's wrong. Obviously. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. As long as it's giving you storage and it's doing its job, no one cares. Oh, that is hilarious. That's a great drive name, bro. Props to you. I like your drive's music. All right. Who's next? Who's next? I think we're making good progress. What time is it? 7:40? Yeah, we're doing all right. As long as we can get, I don't know, about 8:30 and get halfway, I think we'd be good. We'll probably end up speeding through it, because a lot of times, like yesterday, I had like 26 and we got through it pretty quickly. And I was like at 9:40 and I grabbed 3 more and we finished at like 9:30, 9:40. Now I'm at 30 and 30 with some mix-ins. So I'm trying to time it, man. I don't really want to have like 40 tabs because it messes me up. Because like we'll do things like we'll have a break one and then we'll start looking up stuff and start talking about random things, and I don't even know where I'm at because I have too many tabs open. So, and I don't want to switch to another screen because it's not ideal, because you would have to change the input live and I don't want to do that. So it's difficult. But yeah, we be burning through these, man, especially when we're doing it straight like this and we're not playing any video games. It's really, we'll just burn through them. But yeah, let's go ahead and do the next one. This is Jazz Like Squash 6489, and Jazz writes, PC not picking up input, mic is fine. So when I plug my mic cable into the input, it detects that the mic is there, but any sound I make into the mic, it doesn't pick up. Okay. I know this isn't a problem with the mics since I tried 2 different mics, both of which work fine on my phone. Windows Troubleshooter doesn't know what the problem is. I opened up my PC and found that I had apparently messed around with some of the connections to the motherboard, and there's a cable coming from where the input is. I don't know what you call it, the panel where you plug all your stuff in at the front, right? That splits into 2 endings. Okay, I had seated one, starred with a letter A and then a bunch of numbers like A, X, X, X. Right. That's the HD audio adapter, and that's for the front panel I/O. So I'm guessing she may be talking about 3.5 millimeter jacks. I can check if it's irrelevant of the endings haphazardly on the end of some pins in such a way that it didn't fully seat, but sat halfway onto the pins. There's another one called HD audio, which I had fully seated on another set of pins. So one's HD audio and one may be USB. So I unplugged the cable and looked for somewhere to properly put it, but there was nowhere. If I replace the HD audio with it so that the AA seats properly with the HD audio, it's just flailing about. The PC doesn't recognize, and there's a mic plugged in. If I plug in just the HD audio, it makes no difference. I should mention that the cables running into the ending of the HD audio are kind of not uniform. They don't go in cleanly. I don't know if that means the cable is effed, because in some videos I watched concerning the cables like that, I recall them being kind of messy. Okay. The HD audio on the front panel goes to the headphone and mic 3.5 millimeter ports on the front of the computer. The port this goes into can only be for this. The pin out is different if you look at it. The other, more than likely, is USB 2.0 header, whose pins look similar but go into a totally different port. Lastly, the multiple pins are for front panel power, reset button, etc. Lastly, the multiple pinouts are for front panel power, reset button, etc. So with this, I would ask, the mic you are trying to use, is it a 3.5 millimeter mic? Try to plug it in the back to see if that works. We may be at a lost cause, trying to show her, or him, or Jazz like Squash, trying to show this person where to plug everything in at, and we don't want them to short. So I'm not sure how old their PC is, so there's a possibility if they put it in the wrong port, they may short it. So I would rather them just plug it into the back and call it a day. But yeah, I think they're talking about the front panel header as well as the USB, but I could be wrong. As far as this one, I don't know what that is exactly, but I don't know. You would have to show me, like if she had a picture, that would be helpful. But more than likely, I think she's talking about the HD audio cable, but that guy only goes in one location. It can't go in anything else. And if you do, it's going to be offset, so it's going to be wrong. So if you look at the pins, then you'll notice that one is top right, one is bottom left. But Squash, keep us posted. Alrighty. Ooh, a gaming issue. That doesn't happen often. Alrighty. Cold World 92. Cold World writes, issues with Evil Within 2 on PC. Hey y'all, what's up? I just got Evil Within 2 on PC from the free prom. Congratulations. When I try to load it up, you can't play in full screen at all. There's either bars on the side or it's in a small window. Also, I played it initially with Game Pass, so when I boot it up, it shows my old saves for some reason, but won't load them up. Correct. Game Pass, I think Game Pass's saves are within Game Pass, but they keep a small file on your computer. Does anyone know any fixes for these issues? Yeah. With Game Pass, I think those saves can only be pulled back while using Game Pass. So you may need to finish it there. As for the bars, what resolution is it running at? Did you have these bars while playing on the Game Pass? Yeah, just probing questions. That's what I would do. With the Game Pass, I think those saves can only be pulled back while using Game Pass. Granted, I've never used Game Pass, but it makes a whole lot of sense that it would do something like that. So you may need to finish it there. As for the bars, what resolution is it running at? Did you have these bars while playing on the Game Pass? So yeah, this is more so probing questions just to try to get a good understanding because I don't use Game Pass often, and I haven't played Evil Within 2, even though I kind of want to, but I never get a chance to just sit down and play video games. So not as much as I want to. I maybe get a couple hours, or I'll be too tired or doing something else. So, but yeah, man, just some probing questions. Let's see what happens. Cold World, keep us posted. Not a whole lot we can say on that one. That one's pretty straightforward. Ooh, you know what? I didn't know that the Fantex, the Evolve Shift can lift up. I just didn't know. But it looks like it can. It can actually lift up and actually be blank right here so that I can get more airflow. But it is pretty. I just didn't like the Evolve Shift because it was long. It's so long. It's like this freaking long. It's like a whole sandwich. So it's just a bit too long for most situations for me, but it's still really pretty. Aesthetically, that GPU matches really well. Yeah, it's really pretty. It's really, really pretty. I don't even think that's glass. I think that it just lifts up. Thanks to Fantex and AMD secretly working together to fix my visuals. Wait, this is a small form factor PC? Yeah, it is, but it's huge, man. It is 17.4 liters, and the AIO mode can only go as small as a 13.5 liter. Yeah, 13.5, 17.5, man, those are big. I want 7.5. I don't know, man. I like all my cases smaller, but if we're talking about portability type cases, I want it like 7.5. If we're talking about with like a 4090 or XTX in this case, or 6800 XT or 6900 XT, 17.5 is big, man. You might as well call it a micro ATX at that point. 7600X, B650i, 6800 XT. Okay, so 6800 XT, and DDR5 5600 megahertz, and then 16 gigs of RAM, and then Silverstone XX700, 512 gig NVMe, and a 240 AIO. It runs like a absolute champ. I would imagine so. And I love how it turned out with the silver against the reference 6700 XT. Yeah, it's really pretty, bro. It's really, 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 really pretty. Congratulations. It's almost like Team Rocket. I like it. Yeah, I like Team Rocket. Ooh. So that's how it does it. Where is the cooler? Maybe it's just like right here. But I mean, it looks great. Power. Oh, it sits just like just like every other case that is an ITX build, to be fair. I like that. I like how he has an SSD in there. You don't get that too often. Sometimes you can, but it just makes the cables a little bit more clunky. But I mean, this looks like a really good build, bro. Congratulations, it's really nice. Oh, okay, so that's where it is. It's way up here above it. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, congrats, man. That's a pretty nice build. Oh no, not a Modern Warfare 2 issue. Okay, this is a repeat. All right, so I think we're on to our repeats. I'm not sure how many we got. We got a bunch, so let's just burn through them. Okay, let me get ready. Okay. All right, I'm ready. All right, so this is probably from yesterday. Yeah, it is. i7 IQs. Anyone remember better settings for me? Online isn't too bad. I get around 65 to 90 FPS depending on which map, but Warzone is bad. It drops to like 35 FPS most of the time, and it's aids to play. Yeah, we talked about this issue, but he had an RX 580 8 gig. An RX 580 8 gig at 1080p that's about right. Well, the picture doesn't really show when your frame rate dips, as the frame rate is the same on both pictures between Warzone and multiplayer. Also, I can't tell if you have VSync turned on, but it sounds as if the GPU is struggling to keep up. Be sure to update to the most recent driver. Multiplayer is fine. It's Warzone pretty much. I know it shows 70 FPS, but that's just because I'm looking at a rock/cliff. I'll record some gameplay, which may be easier way to show. Sure, bro. Bro, I'll be around. Just ping me when you have it. Yeah, I can't do anything, bro. I can't tell. I mean, like, okay, so I'll show you. So he has both of his pictures are literally the same. So if we look here, this is his FPS, right? You see at the top here, he has an FPS of 69 while playing multiplayer, but he's not targeting anyone. Got it. Cool. That's multiplayer. Then he goes to Warzone, and this is his Warzone picture. It's 70. Like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, one is 69 and one is 70. So it's like, okay, well, you know, I can't really act on this. On top of that, his latency is the same, and both times he doesn't have any packet loss. Like, there's nothing that we can do that can help him in this situation because he hasn't shown a problem. Technically, they look perfectly fine. Both of them. They have the exact same frame rate. So you can't act on this. We need more information in order for us to troubleshoot and diagnose the issue. So, yeah, just keep us posted. i7 IQs. I will close them out. You know what we should start doing? We should start closing these out so we can kind of get a better understanding of everything. Actually, you know what? Let me well, there's a reason why I didn't close them out, because I wanted to put timestamps in the live streams. But I don't know if people actually look at previous live streams for issues. Maybe that can turn into a thing. But I may start doing that, putting tags into it. But I just never bothered because I never noticed that people actually went in and looked at past live streams. But if people look at them, I'll start putting timestamps. All right, so this is from Find Independent 5815. Find Independent writes, Find Independent. Monitor issue, blacked screen. Monitor turns on, but turns from black to a gray color and doesn't change at all. And if it turns on, it turns off shortly after where it flashes black and back to the regular working monitor. What? I apologize, but I don't follow. It flashes black and back to the regular working monitor. Regular working monitor? So are you saying the issue resolves itself after X amount of time? As for troubleshooting, I would say to try a different input on your PC/monitor, as well as a different cable to see if that resolves the issue. Yeah, just probe it. There's not a whole lot to say on this one here, and I don't want to go too far in depth because I worry that they may not be able to answer. Just from this statement, it lets me know that, you know, is trying to go too far into it may not be the best idea. So just kind of keep it surface level. You know, try to change out the cable, stuff like that. Keep it. Okay. Don't use words like DNS and display and HDMI and all that kind of stuff. It may not do us any justice here because, you know, that gray color doesn't change at all, turns off shortly after where it flashes black and back to the regular working monitor. It may be better that we just kind of keep it surface level and then we just kind of go from there on this one. And itself an X amount of time. So yeah, it just, there's not a whole lot of information to go on. I wish they had a picture. Actually, you know what? Also, could you upload a picture of what you are referring to? All right, do that. I think you can upload pictures whenever you have post issues on tech support. Alrighty. I always thought, okay, so remember when I first started this, right? I couldn't actually post on tech support, and I wonder when people who have issues, they like, how do you get to actually being able to post an issue on tech support without having karma? So I thought it was kind of interesting. So you have an issue, you can't even post your issue because you don't have any karma. But whatever. I hope that helps. Find independent 5815. Okay. Move to stream com DA6. That is a pretty case. Man, that is pretty. Look at that. I like the shroud that he has around the 2120 Noctua fans. That is clean. That is clean. And I like how it's all metal and you can move it around and pick it up, even though I wouldn't because it's not grounded, but whatever. It's still really pretty. This card is thick. What card? What card? What are we talking about? Oh, maybe there is a card. Oh, that's a big baby. Okay, so basically they took off the fan shroud and put on the Noctua fans, which, that's not a bad thing. The Noctua fans are really good as far as GPU fans, but that is a very big card. That looks like a reference 480 or 490, 4080 or 4090. House of Noise on open setups, very nice. After thoughts on the build process, any vibration issues with those mounting brackets? Yeah, that's an SF750 Platinum and a Noctua NHD15 with only one fan. I mean, it's a really good build, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't touch it. That's the only thing is that I worry on carpet that the static electricity will be his enemy, but it's still pretty sweet though. So congrats to you, bro. Just touch it with some non-static gloves and don't put that on the floor. But outside of that, it's pretty sweet. All right. Okay, another one. I found a 3D print that fixes PC cases with bad airflow to the GPU. Just need free PCI slots, or 2 free PCI slots and 2 40mm fans. That's actually pretty cool. I always wondered if this would actually be enough to change temperatures on fans. Like if you add 2 of these little small ones, like for example on it's not on this one here, but I can give you an example. So this is the Skyreach 4 Mini. This is the one I was thinking about when I was talking about a metal chassis from yesterday. But Skyreach 4 is very similar to the Sentry 2.0. And what I was thinking of is putting fans along the top here to help the graphics card breathe. This one here can't actually fit a graphics card, right? Like it only has this place for a motherboard and then pinouts. So it can't actually fit a graphics card, but it looks like people have found a way to get it to show the graphics card as well, or have a graphics card as well as a motherboard, which is what I kind of want to build in on this one here because it's super portable. Like think about this guy, like it's brushed metal and it's pretty lightweight compared to like a Sentry or a lot of other cases. It makes me want to try to build into it, but the strongest card it can go is like a 3060, and not necessarily the real 3060, the fake, the professional 3060. That's a really small form factor card. That's only a one slot card, and try to create that kind of a build and then be able to travel with this guy. That may actually be pretty good because this guy here is super lightweight. It's actually lightweight than most laptops, so it'd be kind of interesting to see what I can build with this. But yeah, that's just one of the things that I was thinking about when I was thinking about that. Like, there are situations where you would want to put those in there, but those usually run louder than those fans, and I always wondered how many degrees it would take your computer down by. I feel like it only take it down by like 1 degree, so like what's the real point? What are you trying to prove at that point? You just kind of, like now if it gives you like 5 degrees on the GPU, that'd actually be pretty good, but I just don't see it giving you any degrees on this guy here. I get that it helps with the airflow a little bit, but it's not going to do a whole lot. But yeah, I mean, it's still pretty sweet though. I like the build though. Look at that. So he put it in as if it was a PCIe slot. I've never seen that. That's pretty sweet. And he has the little brackets. Like, I've never seen this kind of thing. He may have built that himself, but that's really sweet. Big fan of this. I like the fantastic. These fan jokes are spinning out of control. I like it. Have yourself a wine cooler, master. Really got to let that one air. I like it. I like it. OnlyFans. and the Darwin Award goes to you, sir. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I mean, it's a really good idea. I like it. I like it better when it's over the heatsink, but I mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Pretty sweet build, Sep Dep. I appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Alrighty, this is from Thin Radio 7604. Thin Radio writes, vintage cassette player. Oh wow, we're going in. Okay, hold on, let me get ready. All right. For those of you at home, okay, so a cassette player, back in the day, we used to have what's called a cassette player. A cassette player, essentially, it played music, and it had a front and a back. So, like, you would have to play music on one side, and then it would stop, and then you have to flip the tape over, and then play music on the other side, and it would be a literal tape. And sometimes your stereo would eat it, and you would have to, like, fix it by rolling it back. That's what a cassette tape is. So for you young kids who don't know what the hell a cassette tape is, one, I hate you. But two, that's what a cassette tape is. Oh man, all jokes aside. But a vintage cassette player, power adapter help. Hello, I recently bought a Philips stereo and 2510 cassette player. 1972, 1975. Good lord. Ooh, that's clean, man. That's clean. But I'm struggling to figure out which power adapter to purchase for it. I'm based in the UK. Does anyone have any idea of what I should be looking for? Mains AC. Oh, no. I've never seen that before. No. I've never seen that. You know what? Adapter. Adapter. Well, maybe we can find it. Oh, it takes you right to the Reddit post that we just read. I don't know if you're gonna find an adapter for that, bro. Like, I'm not even sure what that is. Except, wow. Okay, why are you showing me pictures of people I don't care about? Is there more pictures? Type in 2510, 50 hertz. He doesn't take pictures of the adapter at all. I mean, I'm not really sure what we can say to this, but see what he's looking for. Power type and voltage. Okay, well, that doesn't tell you anything. Yeah, I'm not sure. Wow. Okay, I got stumped. I'm not sure, bro. I'm not sure, and I don't want to put anything in it that would kill it, because, I mean, obviously, it probably took him a lot of work to get it. I'm not sure on this one. Maybe you can try eBay to see if someone has an adapter that goes to it, but I don't want to recommend something that could damage something so rare. Yeah, we'll say that. Like, it's too rare, man. Like, we be playing games and trying to figure out how to try different things. Yeah, the first thing I was thinking about is the same adapter that goes into the PS5. You can maybe try to use that, but I don't want to play that game with him. Like, it looks like he may have really had to put in some work to get something like that. Why would we play a game and try to find an adapter that would fit? Like, that doesn't even look right. I mean, what the double circle adapter work, maybe, but I don't want to play that game and like mess it up. Like, if he had two, maybe. But I don't want to be the one to recommend it. Because connector looks like it wants full 240 volt AC. You just need a cable that adapts to that connector. This is not the right one, but it'll be similar to that. I did some Googling and couldn't find it. Yeah, I couldn't find it either, bro. If you're electronically inclined, you could hardwire a power adapter into it, but not unless you're comfortable messing around with 240 volts. Yeah. Yeah, I can't tell you, man. I don't want to be the one to recommend it though. Sorry, bro, but it's pretty pro. You may have to just spend some time and work on it, but you're not gonna find most people who's gonna give you good ideas because they don't want to break it. Sounds like you really put in some work to get that. That's rare. That's super rare. Modern Warfare 2. Oh, i7 IQs. We already worked him. Okay. Ooh, Walnut PC. Ooh, that's pretty. I always wanted. Okay, so I have these. Can I show that? Maybe. I have those same desks, or these same ones. Let me see if I can show y'all. Right there, right? So I have those. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right, so I have those same desks. The thing with those is, one, it moves. So you have to put like these the sticky tape, like the double-sided adhesives, to stop it from moving back and forth. And two, a lot of times the table stands that you get for them are not the same size as the width of the desk or the length of the desk, depending on your perspective. So a lot of times they don't sit flush on the desk and they kind of bow out a little bit. But I like that desk a lot. It's just that standing desks have kind of been a little bit better for me, because whenever I had like tailbone pain in the Erman Miller chair, what is it, Aeron or whatever, whenever I was having back or tailbone pain, I would always want to stand up, and I couldn't stand up with this one and actually still be able to do work. But I prefer those because it gives you more space to work with. But lately, I mean, the standing desks have done their job, so but I do like these. This was my original build, actually, where I would have a desk like that, because you can put so much stuff on it. But what is this question? What should I do to make my setup cooler? I don't know, but it looks pretty cool to me. I mean, it looks nice and it looks peaceful. And I like the light blue in the background, or the gray, or whatever color that actually is. It looks very, very peaceful. You know, there's not a whole lot more you can do. I like the mic. It's a little, you can reverse the side of the mic so that you have a little bit more space. And you don't hit against it, but I mean, it looks like it's fine. I mean, they're so the two dressers are so separated that it gives you a lot of room to maneuver. I like the way your second monitor is, because I have the exact same thing with another monitor. So I mean, you know, there's not a whole lot more you can do here. It looks fine, bro. Like, I don't. A chair would be nice. Looks good to me. Maybe a standing desk, but if you don't have back or tailbone pain, then no real point in it. So yeah, overall, looks good. Good, bro. A man in search of a problem. LOL. Yeah. So that's pretty much what it is. A man in search of a problem. And I get that. I do that too, man. Like, I'll have, like, for example, like if I have like a 165 hertz monitor, I'll be thinking like, man, I'd be so much pro if I had a 240 hertz monitor, knowing darn well it wouldn't make much difference to whatever game that I'm playing, but I'll still do it. You know, it's one of those kind of things. Guys always want to improve on their technology, and I get that. And his monitor is actually the exact same monitor that I'm using that y'all just saw, because I have the little white background that y'all saw there. That's this guy. He has a 2K 240 hertz monitor, the Alienware. That's a really good monitor. I like it a lot. I use it for gaming. It's my gaming monitor, and then I have a 4K monitor for editing and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot more he can do to it. It's all white on white too. So like, that's white, that's white. The PS5 is white. The dressers are white. The only thing that it is like the table and like the keyboard. He can white out that whole build if he really wanted to, but he would need another white monitor. But there's only a couple that are white like that. But yeah, it's almost a whiteout. It's pretty clean. I like it, bro. Walnut PC, that's pretty good. I like your name too. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. What time is it? 8:11? we're gonna need more. We're gonna need more. I remember this time. I'm at the blue. Let's do this. Let's grab a couple. Aw. Well, this isn't gonna help me. This isn't best to have PC isn't gonna help us. I don't want to go too deep into networking. Let's do have we done hardware lately? We'll do hardware. Hardware swap, hardware. Oh, build a PC. We haven't done build a PC in forever. Forever. Let's do build a PC. A PC. The thing about build a PC though, a lot of their they get a lot of comments because I mean their questions are usually pretty even to answer. They're not really all that much work. Just build my first PC. I gotta see it. I gotta see it. Power color. Oh, for the 7900 XTX, yeah. Okay, cool. So let's get about 4 and we'll come back to it. All right, let's do it. Okay, so this is interesting. So this is from R Digital. R Digital talks about a TSA compliant carry-on PC. Ooh. So we were I don't know. I really don't know how you feel about water in TSA. 7900X with 100 AIO, man, that's dangerous as heck, man. You be going to the wrong place, they're gonna tell you to dump that liquid. 4080 Founders Edition. Oh, if it's a check bag. Okay, if it's a check bag, then it'll work. This case, this luggage, this is the oh god. I forgot this, but this luggage right here, this carry-on, it works with just about like 40% of the mini ITX builds around. Like it works for a lot of different things. But yeah, he's gonna check it though. He's not gonna actually go through airport security with it because that AIO, they're gonna make you take that out. But that's still a really clean build though. And it's a really clean travelable build that he can just take with him. I like how he has to open it though, in order to make sure that they don't trip about it. But yeah, that's really sweet. 79. I wonder, like, I'll show you guys, whenever I get my second camera, like if I have to keep it unscrewed so that I can take off the front of it so people can look inside and see what's in it, or will I have to unscrew it? But that's still pretty sweet. Ooh, that's, man, I don't know about these builds that have 4090s and suffocating that back fan. I don't know. It really kind of depends on the temperatures. Or 4080 in this case. A Cooler Master, a BA50 SFX. How is TSA with AIOs generally? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Just moved and I decided to ship my NR200 PC last minute because I didn't want any issues with liquid insecurity. Correct. AIOs are fine. Just don't say anything and let them scan it. It's sealed. It's a sealed loop and the liquid doesn't show up anyway. Really? I brought my 280mm AIO and PC through TSA and customs multiple times. They're more curious about the PC than the radiator and may do a swab of the case. This guy knows. I had some experience with TSA a month or so ago. Didn't say crap about the water, just stared at the x-ray screen until I said it was a PC. Hey, 240mm is just under 100 milliliters of coolant. They're pretty good about it. Okay, maybe you can use them. Okay, I was always worried about it, but that's good information. So it appears that as long as you go with something less than a 240mm cooler, you should be okay. Are AIOs TSA compliant as they have liquid inside them? Less than 100 milliliters, so they are fine. Cool, good to know. Which case is that? Yeah, the Pelican. Yeah. The Pelican 1510 imitation Harbor Freight. Yeah, this guy here, I think it's the 1610 and the 1510. Those two are very good for most cases. Like if it's the Meshalicious, if it's the Sligers, if it's the obviously Dan case, the H2O, as well as the SFX, obviously. If it's the Sentry, if it's every like all of your ITX cases, if it's the Height Revolve, if it's the NR200, if it's like literally any case that you can think of that's ITX, it fits them all. Now, whether or not you have extra space for extra things depends on which chassis it is, but it fits a lot of different chassis. It's really, really, really good. Especially if I wanted to take like my big guy with the 4090 in it, that's exactly the case I'd get. I've always checked my crap in my LAN bag and been fine. What do you do for a monitor? I use the mating styrofoam from the original packaging and gets the flat hard sided of my luggage, and it goes checked. I keep it packed like that. It was in the box security from my store basically, but instead of the foam on the back of the monitor, it's soft close and whatnot. I've been traveling like this for about 8 years. Okay, so he puts the monitor in there too, and he kind of, so I'll show y'all when the Pelican case, whenever it comes in, there's a slab of foam at the top and a slab of foam at the bottom, and you can pull out the parts in order to put it to sit your case in there properly. And then the one that's at the top behind it, there's a bunch of space there, so you can actually put your monitor there, or you can put like peripherals and stuff like that. So it's really useful. So I recommend that Pelican case for anybody with small builds. It works for a lot of things, and even some micro ATX builds if they're small enough. Alrighty. Okay, so we got another repeat. Oh, this was the Aaron. I can't remember, he replied. Okay, cool. So this was the Erman Miller Aaron issue. So basically he cracked his chair, but I had mentioned that, well, if it's wobbly, typically Erman Millers have extremely long warranties. You may be able to get them to repair it for you. He said, I bought it used off eBay, and considering it's an Aaron Classic, it's at least 11 years old at this point. Also, the sticker with the manufacturing date and details on it has been scratched off when I got it. Okay, well, there's not a whole lot to say about it then. He may have to replace that. Chair is all wobbly now. You need to get a gas lift. Most places have them, but if you ring Erman Miller and ask for one, they should send it. In a past life, I was a person you called the CME to you repair your chair. If you're able to, you might even be able to remove it, take the measurements, and buy from somewhere like Happy Online. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of hard though, man. Aarons are weird, man. Like, well, they're not weird. It's just that they're already pre-assembled. So because they're pre-assembled, it makes it really difficult to get parts and stuff like that. So you know, if I mean, you can call them. I mean, I'd still call. I mean, the worst they can say is no. So yeah, I'd still call. The worst they can say is no, but at least they can point you in the right direction. I do it that way. Erman Miller's, man, like that warranty is everything. So if it doesn't have that anymore, I just call and see what they say. They may be able to send you a part that can help with that. But yeah, I would go with that route. Alrighty, Innocuous Leaf, man. I hope that helps. All right, what time is it? 8:19. Yeah, we're doing pretty good on time. Actually, we're doing really good on time because we didn't burn through like 20-some cases. All right, so this is a Zula. We're just gonna go with the Zula. The Lightning Chick. Okay, Lightning Chick writes, printing issues within browsers. Oh, okay. So this was the one with the group policy. So basically, they're having an issue with their printers. And apparently, whenever they're trying to print in browsers, it won't print. But if you try Word, Excel, Adobe, anything like that, it prints fine. And he was talking about a branch office and disabling branch office direct printing from our print server with same results. So I was like, well, what happens when if you try to print using the browser in incognito mode? Do you still have the same issue? What about if you try different browsers? I take it with your GPO, everyone uses the same browser. Sounds like you're an admin. Try to download a browser that most do not use and see if that gives you the same problem as well. We are seeing issues out of Chrome and Edge. Firefox does not support the majority of our day-to-day work. We have not tried incognito mode, but I will give that a try. If that does work, what will I need to do to resolve this issue? Okay, let me open it up. Let me see what we got here. All right, let me reread this because I don't remember. Well, I remember the issue, but I don't remember every word of it. So anyone else having this issue when printing from a browser? Most of our workstations are on Windows 11 and our printers are deployed via group policy. Driver and firmware are up to date. Everything prints fine, and then all of a sudden it doesn't. No event logs. Only issues we are seeing are in the browser. The only workaround is stopping and starting the printing spool. Adobe Word, Excel all print fine. This is not only occurring on Windows 11, but Windows 10 as well. Different make printers and different models. I have made all the changes in this article, but still no luck. I have also tried enabling and disabling branch office direct printing from our print server with the same results. Not sure if it's workstation or printer server related. The fact that I have to stop and start the printer spool service on a workstation and get it to work via printing from browsers makes me believe that the issue is workstation related. But on the other hand, many workstations are having the issue, which leads me to believe it's print server related. I'm at a loss. Yeah. So when I was telling her to check the browser, and then she was like, okay, well, if I do try it in incognito mode and it works, how do I resolve the issue? Well, if it works in incognito mode, then it means one of the GPO extensions used on the browsers is causing the problem. So you would just disable each extension until you find the one causing the issue. Ooh, my legs start itching. Causing the issue, and try to update it. Yeah, that's what I would do. You know, I would put it in incognito mode, see if the one in incognito mode has the issue. If the one in incognito mode doesn't have the issue, then that means that you have an issue with your extensions on your main browsers that you use, in this case Chrome and Edge, and then you would try to remove all of the extensions one by one to see if that whichever extension causes the problem. It's going to be an extension that both of them use. But extensions are set up by the group policy as well, depending on whatever extension that they have. So yeah, that's how I would troubleshoot this particular issue. All right, Azula, keep us posted, Lightning Lady. All right, let's go ahead. Ooh, ready to go. Dan A4 SFX. That's my baby right there. That's a fat boy. That is a fat boy. But it's nice. I didn't know there was a backpack that can fit it like that. Yeah, it's a little heavy on the backpack. There's a better case for it though. I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you in like next week whenever mine comes in. But rip back. There's a better case for it. Let me tell him. Okay, well, there's not a cheaper one, but there is a better one. Well, it's not cheap, but the Wander. No, I'm not about to tell him that. I'm not about to tell him that. The reason why I'm not about to tell him that, because the Wander Provoke and the camera bag that I'm talking about is like $400, and that thing is not $400. So I'm not about to sit here and tell him that. But it is nice that he was able to get it in that bag. But the Dan Case A4SFX has a lot of different options. I mean, like, it has a lot of different options when it comes to backpack use. But that one's nice. You know, it's a little harsh, but this thing isn't heavy though. It only weighs 11 pounds. Like, I was comparing the weight between this guy and my old build, which was the Sentry 2.0. All right, so this guy here is all metal. So I was comparing this guy to my the Dan Case. The Dan Case is aluminum. So this guy here, without the motherboard and without the graphics card, without the motherboard and the power supply, but with a graphics card, weighed 11.8 pounds. My Dan Case, fully loaded with a 3090, fully loaded PC, everything, was like 11.6. So this guy here is like 8 pounds more whenever it's fully loaded. That's insane. It's so heavy, but it's only because of the components and it being a metal. Like, that aluminum case does wonders. So I think his back will probably be okay. I don't really think that's going to give him much of a problem, simply because this guy is super lightweight. It's the equivalent of having a camera bag full of camera gear. It's right at that level. It's not super heavy though. It just looks that way. All right, so this is from Del Torrens. Del Torrens writes, game stutter after BIOS and driver update. And they say, recently I did a clean install of my drivers on my computer of 3 years. Stupidly seeing my motherboard BIOS was almost 5 years old, I updated it to the newest BIOS. Ever since, I get stuttering and micro stuttering in games along with freezes for short periods of time. I noticed if the game was the only if the game was the only program, it would stutter much less to almost not stuttering at all. I have uninstalled the BIOS and drivers and reinstalled them. I have taken the computer apart and back again. Even a clean install of Windows did not help. I have no idea how to fix it. This is driving me crazy. Please help. My build is a 9900K Z3090 Phantom Gaming SLI. And then it has an ASRock on 4.1 BIOS, 4 sticks of 8 gigs of RAM, and a 2080 RTX with newest drivers. Okay, so he sees stuttering. Gaming SLI/AC. Okay, so you see game stutter after BIOS update. Okay, did the stuttering still happen after rolling back to the previous BIOS? Okay, now on top of that, let's ask the actual questions. So 28 with the newest drivers and a wipe, and he still gets game stuttering, but it doesn't happen as often whenever he doesn't have a whole lot of stuff running. What games are we talking about here? Do you have this issue in Overwatch 2 or Minecraft? Do you have this issue in Overwatch 2 or they're easier to run. They're easier to run than most games. Or Roblox. I can put that in there now that I know where Roblox is. Do you have this issue in Overwatch 2 or Minecraft or Roblox? What games specifically have you tested? Also, does it also stutter during YouTube playbacks? Let's get a good idea of his issue. Remember, he wiped, so he has there's a lot of things that you could have said that he's already kind of fixed because he wiped it. So really all of our questions are kind of around, okay, well, what have you tried since then? Really, that's kind of the only real questions that you can ask him. Have you tried Overwatch 2 or Minecraft or Roblox or something that's simple? Or are you only trying like COD or Battlefield or something that's super intensive on GPUs? Also, does it stutter during YouTube playbacks is also really good to let us know, if you're having just stuttering in any type of video playback. Because if that was the case, then it may also be CPU related. Alrighty, Del Torrance, keep us posted. Alrighty, this is another redo. This is from Fan Gaming TTV. What is the cheapest but decent graphics card and RAM? Oh yeah, they just asked that one simple question. Oh, I didn't know that's what that did. And he was like, hey, what's a decent graphics card and RAM? And I tell him the GTX 1060 would be the cheapest but decent. RAM depends on the CPU and motherboard. And he said, thanks. Okay, I don't know why I put that in there. But yeah, GTX 1060, I will go with 1060 as a cheap but decent card. Because you can get a 1060 for under $100. You can probably get it for like $50 if somebody's really nice. Alrighty, Meshalicious. I like this case. This is my favorite case. Well, it's not my favorite case, but this looks a lot like mine, but I don't have it all whited out like that. That's really clean. And okay. So this is with a R5 5600 and an RTX 3060. All right, so this is clean. This is the Cooler Master, the RX 850, which is really, really nice. But this is that one that I ran into when I was talking about that issue with the 24 pin. Because I tried to use the one from the 7 that belongs to the 750 for when I had a custom made 24 pin, and it doesn't fit on this one because it used different pinouts. But yeah, this Cooler Master 850 is really nice, and it's all white too, and I can't even use it because I don't have a place to put it. It's supposed to go in this white Meshalicious case, which is the exact same case he has, but I now have 1000 watt in there because I thought the power supply was the problem. So I'll probably switch it out and return that 1000 watt, but I don't feel like messing with the case. But yeah, that's clean. I like the Cooler Master, this Cooler Master build. That's really, really nice. And then I'm guessing, does he have more pictures? No, he doesn't. The graphics card is on the other side. Air bubbles in radiator is okay, just not in the pump header. Rotate your radiator 180 degrees so the in and out is at the top. Oh yeah, yeah. You don't want to do that, bro. You want to have it towards the top. Mine is flipped too. The in and out is towards the top. Air bubbles will be trapped at the top of the radiator, not the pump. Yeah. Outside of that, really good build, bro. So my back hurts. I like it. I like it a lot. My back hurts writes Apex Pro TKL Wireless 2023 won't save the configs for actuation on the keyboard. Desktop app info does not match what mini LED says. I'll make a config in the desktop app, but the key actuations never transferred to the keyboard. The key actuations will save on the app, but it seems like the information is never shared with the keyboard. The keyboard itself will always reset to 1.8 ounce. It comes back from being off completely, as if the keyboard itself resets every time it gets turned off. Is there a firmware update I should know about, or is it a known issue? I'm new to the ecosystem. Thanks a lot. TKL Wireless. I don't have that one. Pro TKL Wireless. Okay. World's fastest OmniPoint 2.0 adjustable switches. Blah 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 blah. Oh, Steel Series. Okay. Oh no, this is a Cooler Master, and the other one was Razer, so I don't have a Steel Series. Oh, I do, but they're just older. Is there a firmware update I should know about? Well, you can try to go to the website to see if there is a new update you can download. You can also try a different port on your PC to see if that resolves the issue as well. And I can't spell the word different. You can try to go to the website to see if there's a new update you can download. You can also try a different port on your PC to see if that resolves the issue as well. I'll just leave it like that. Super simple. That's not a whole lot to that. You know, if the keyboard is not taking the inputs of the software that is associated with that keyboard, then you can either do two things. You can either update the software, uninstall, reinstall the software. Okay, maybe three things. Update the software, uninstall, reinstall the software, or try to move it to a different port on your computer to see if that fixes the issue. That's really all you can do. And uninstall, reinstall the software may not actually fix it. It's kind of like the least of the three. But I'll go ahead and mention it. You can, if I can type, you can also try to uninstall the software and reinstall it. Install it to see if that helps. Save. All right, I'll go with that. I'll go with that final answer. My back hurts. I hope that helps your back, bro. This is SFF. Oh yeah, this is the one with the soap case. That's that we were talking about. That was actually wide open, and I was like, so if you swap the SFX, you could use cases like the Dan case A4 SFX or the Form T1 if you want to handle. You can go Sliger, but still pro build, bro. And he said, I love the design of the cases, but with my specs, the cases can be thinner, right? Oh, I remember the case now. They're not really backpack friendly, I think, but I'll have another look at them with the dimensions and see whether it's worth going to a slightly bigger power supply. Thanks so much. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, the only one that's backpack friendly is the Dan case A4 SFX. Plus, it's aluminum. So it's also one of the lightest. I remembered the case that I thought of when I read this. It's called the S4 Mini, but it's no longer in production. But the guy who makes them is extremely reachable. Reachable. So you may be able to throw money at his face until he makes one for you. LOL. He's a cool dude, man. The guy who makes these NFC not from concentrate, this guy here, he's actually really cool, and he's super easy to reach, like super. So if you'd ever decide that you want to make a smaller build and you want to go with the S4 Tiny or Mini, just reach out to him. But the Mini he doesn't make anymore, but he still makes the Tiny. But yeah, if you have any issues or problems, just reach out to him. The dude's great. He's super responsive. So yeah, that's what I would say. But that's what I was thinking of when I saw him. I was thinking of the S4 Mini, and I can show you what I'm talking about. S4 Mini. Because this person wanted a PC that would fit their power supply. But you got to understand, like, his power supply, where is it at? Right here. Okay, so if you look, you see that power supply? That's a 300 watt power supply, and it's long, right? So it doesn't fit most cases. But there is one case that it does fit, and that is going to be the S4 Mini, which is this case here. Yeah, I can probably hear this. Yeah. See that? I love this freaking case. And that's perfect for him because it would fit his 300 watt no problem. And that is the Noctua L9A. This is the Asus Strix. I have this board too. This board is really nice. He has a 6700K or something like that running on it. And on top of that, this case used to also fit a small form factor graphics card too. So you can do like a 1060 Ti Mini, and it would be perfectly fine in this case. It was so good. It was so good. It could also fit SSDs as well. It was overall just a great case. Plus, it fits in backpacks, so you can travel with it. Now, nowadays, a laptop can probably hang with it a lot of times, but overall, it was just a great case. But I think this is really what he wants, but the Mini is really hard to find. You might be able to find it online, but if you look, where does it show it? Right around here. Let me scroll down a little bit more. Yeah, you guys can hear that. Okay, cool. Where does he actually do it? Okay. So right along the bottom there is where you actually install that power supply that he's wanting. But yeah, he may be able to find it on eBay or something. So it's the F4 Mini, but it's no longer in production. But the guy who makes it, man, it's extremely reachable, so you may be able to throw money at his face until he makes you one. Yeah, that's true. Okay, cool. We'll call it at that. Hope that helps, bro. Okay, cool. So the last one. Okay, cool. So this was that 1050 Ti lagging in Fortnite. We were talking about this for a while yesterday, and so his issue was his what time is it? 8:39. Wow, we've been flying. We burned through all of those. Here, let me add a few more. I got some, but let me add a few more. I think I can probably run through about 35 of them. That's a crazy amount in 3 hours, man. That's like 10 an hour. Okay, we'll just do that and we'll stop. Alrighty, so this is a 1050 Ti issue, and basically we worked this issue yesterday, and he was talking about I have a GTX 1050 Ti bought some years ago, and I noticed it's lagging a lot lately. I didn't play games for some time, but now I tried Fortnite and Forza Horizon 5, and they both lag a lot, even on low settings, reaching 20 to 30 FPS. My CPU is the i5 7600, which is pretty good. 16 gigs of RAM, M.2 SSD. What's wrong? I have a 1050 Ti. Really, is that bad for today's games? It's not great, but it's okay. But it's not ideal. And we were talking back and forth here, and we ended up figuring out, based on some other things that other people had said, that he has 100% load on the CPU. And so I was like, hey, I also think that it's very strange that it happened because I tried playing with the lowest settings and the freezing still occurred. Well, let me ask you this. When you run the game, check Task Manager to see who is at the top of your utilization and by how much. As to if something can be done, try 720p and see if it makes a difference. May actually be good enough to play. At the top, there's Fortnite, and it's the one using the most. It also says that it's using 0.7 gigahertz at 30 degrees Celsius, and GPU is at 20% at 30 degrees Celsius. Try 720p, but nothing changed. Okay. Where is he at on this? Yeah, it's not great. So he's tried it even at low settings. Even at low settings, he has this issue. And he also has this issue even at 720p. Nothing changed at 720p. 20 to 30 FPS. Nothing changed. I was thinking in my head if I can run it in safe mode, but I don't think that would actually work in this particular situation. I'm guessing somebody had already said drivers. I tried a complete scan. Somebody was thinking a virus. Okay, that's the only thing he's talked about is antivirus and some scans. Has he tried anything? Okay. Okay. Well, what happens if you try to update to the latest driver? Does the 7700 have integrated graphics? Also, the 7600 has integrated graphics. If I didn't know any better, it almost sounds like your CPU may have better graphics than your GPU. What happens if you bypass the GPU and go and connect straight, bypass the GPU and hook and power on your PC with just the CPU and GPU removed? Are your frame rates better than with GPU? That's an interesting one. The 7600 has integrated graphics. And because he said that it's fine at 720p, so this was a trap, right? So we were like, okay, well, what happens if you play at 720p? He was like, okay, well, I still have the issue even at 720p. Well, 720p is actually playable on a 7600 with integrated graphics for the most part. So I think his frame rates will actually be better with almost with a CPU and no GPU. It makes me wonder, so yeah, if he tries it and removes the GPU and just tries it with a CPU, I wonder if his frame rate is higher. If it is, then he may be having a problem with his actual GPU. That's what we're doing. That's the reason. He fell for my trap card. But not in a bad way, but more so in a 720p way. Like if he told me that everything was fine and better at 720p, then it just may be the graphics card just not able to handle that particular game. But since he said it does the exact same thing and nothing has changed, leads me to believe that his CPU may actually be stronger and his graphics card may actually just be faulty. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. Keep us posted, additional bug. Alrighty. And back to the top. Okay. Wow, Anthony. I think we can do damn near 35 to 40 issues in a 3-hour time frame whenever we're doing it like this. That's a lot. That is a lot. A lot. But I mean, hey. I mean, you like it, I love it. Let me check everything and make sure people can still hear me. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. YouTube, are you good? I'm sure you are, but let me just check and make sure. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all gonna hear. Okay, I'm gonna sure close this before y'all start hearing this in the background. Okay, I was just checking to make sure everything is good, man. Ever since it started to kick me out after I played Overwatch, I've been trying to check it because it worries me that every time I switch inputs, even though I don't switch inputs as much, it worries me that that you guys may not be able to hear me. But I think you guys are straight. So let's go ahead and go back to the beginning. Okay. We need some mix. We need some good stuff in here too. Let me build a PC. Oh, I think that's where we're pulling from, right? Build a PC ain't got nothing but straight issues. All of their issues is not too intensive. Cut wood, keep warm. Cut wood, keep warm writes. Gaming PC and cabinet under TV. My mom do this, and she be putting like this. Like I'll buy her or build her like some crazy pro TV, and she's like, "Oh man, can I put it in my cabinet where there's no ventilation, there's no airflow, there's no nothing, and then close it with glass?" Like what the hell? Like, oh my god, I'm just gonna get mad. I'm just gonna get mad if I keep talking about it. But I can't stand when people do that. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand it. And it doesn't. It's not even mom things. It's more of a like I know nurses that do this. Like they'll put the like all of their hardware and firewall equipment in a closet. Like, why would you do that? All that stuff needs ventilation, and you put it in a closet. Like, it's just, and then you open the closet, it's just heat and dust everywhere. It's not a first time. Like, it happens a lot. Gaming PC and cabinet under TV, best case design, or should I go open frame? Willing to add fans to cabinet? Yeah, you may need to. Wanting to build a low-spec gaming PC for under the TV emulation up to Yuzu, and pretty modest single-player gaming such as Celeste and Horizon Zero Dawn, Hades, basically a Steam machine. Oh, I already... Here you go, bro. This is exactly what you build. And it is super wide open. That's the reason why you build it like that. Basically Steam machine. I might use Loso or other controller friendly setups, looking at select parts to reduce thermal load and run cooler than Intel, correct? Or do something undervolting. The cabinet IKEA Besta has 3 compartments with push to open doors with interior dimensions. Okay, so this is IKEA Besta. Let's look this up real quick so we can get an idea what he's talking about. Okay, so he has the 3 compartment type thing, right? So 3 compartment type thing, and then a little thing to run the cables. But they're all open. It's not closed. All right. I know that putting a PC in a closed cabinet with, okay, so it does have push to open doors with interior dimensions. I know that putting a PC in a closed cabinet is not ideal. The door actually have a 1/4 inch gap from the cabinet for airflow. I can have additional ventilation in the back, and if needed, the bottom. I'd rather not cut into the bottom, however. I just put it in the back. When an open frame case, perhaps 3D printed, work better in an enclosed space like this? I thought I could hook up the motherboard fan controllers in the cabinet fans and have them respond to the heat. Yeah, that's what I would do. Or is there a case design that would work best for this type of case? This one right here, bro. Yeah. Maybe run a hybrid GPU and AIO and put the RADs outside the cabinet. That's a good idea too. Yeah. I was thinking more on the lines of the S4 Mini and a couple of fans in the back to help with exhaust. The good thing about this build is it's portable and can travel with you in the event you need to go somewhere. But yeah, S4 Mini, that's exactly what I would have thought of in that situation. Because of all the ventilation holes on this guy, and you have the ventilation hose, and then on top of that, he can have a fan in the back to help with the exhaust. If there's only just the the motherboard and a Noctua L9A to actually just blow the air, so you just kind of have heat that is just centered in that area, and then have a fan to blow that out, you should be fine. So that's what I would say. I would say something like this, and then I would say the fans in the back, so like a couple 120, so 220 millimeter fans will probably do you well. An AIO is good, but it's probably a little bit more overkill for his kind of a setup. Now he may do an AIO for the CPU and GPU depending on what case he puts in there, but really he only has a couple of options. Now depending on how he stacks those shelves, change it a little bit. Like for example, back in the day, it would have been the Lian Li PCC50, which is Lian Li PCC50. Back in the day, this is what he would have used, something like this. Yeah. This is a long time ago, but it would be something like that, right? So any build that's similar to this, where you kind of have a standing. Okay, the reason why I know about this is because I won money like this. Like I submitted to a contest in Newegg, and when Windows 8 first launched, and I did a video. That was one of my first videos where I talked about the PCC50 and how it can be used in Windows 8 in a portable home theater PC setup to kind of turn your Windows machine into a portable living room setup. And I won a whole lot of money from Newegg. It was great. It was great. My mom still uses the laptop that I won that came with it. It was great. I won like an Xbox and all kind of crazy stuff. But yeah, that's how I know so much about it. Is I used to run this. This used to be my rig. It's very dangerous though, because it makes you super lazy, because you'll have a computer like this that's this powerful in your living room, and you never want to leave. You'll just because you can play any game from there. You can just sit in your recliner and just play in a controller, and then a portable keyboard and mouse. Because back then, the there was the keyboard and mouse setup, like this is before the little all-in-one portable keyboard and mouses, so you didn't really have that. So you had like controllers that can double as mice and keyboard that you would use instead. So it was a little bit before its time. Hi. So yeah, it was a little bit before its time, and but it was one of the best builds that I ever made, and I love that build. I kept that PC around forever, but because it made me so much money, I was so happy. But yeah, the PCC50, these kind of builds here, these case builds that kind of belong in shelves, that's kind of really all you can really do in those kind of situations. But yeah, they're gonna need some type of ventilation, bro. You gotta have something in there. You can't just run it like that. It's not ideal. You know, yeah, he could probably drill in the back though. You can see that it's probably a little bit easier. Probably drill a couple of holes in the back so he can get some ventilation going, and he should be all right. Gaming PC cabinet. Did I already answer him? Yeah. Maybe run a hybrid GPU. Yeah. S4 Mini, bro. That's what you would do. Razer releases can be for Xbox. Razer turret. What is this? Okay. Okay, I'll leave that alone. We'll see. This is what it was, I guess. What it was. Suited. I'm not even sure what that is. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But I'll keep an eye on it. So this is from Delicious Light 8124. PC keeps turning off randomly. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So I haven't looked at this. Okay, so back when I had an EVGA 1070, my PC kept powering off and turning back on for no reason every few weeks. Now that I have installed my new 3070, congratulations, it starts to power off more frequently. Did not see that coming. I did everything I could. I opened BIOS and turned off C states. I opened Event Viewer, and the critical error is kernel power 41. Oh, I already know this issue. I upgraded my PSU from 850 to 1000. I even bought new RAM sticks. I am afraid to disable auto restart and possibly fry my computer. I am at a loss in the moment. I am pissed off, and there are no solutions online. Also, the motherboard is fairly new. It is a ROG Strix Z390E gaming with a i9 9900K. Okay, I had this issue with Ryzen. The computer is fine for about an hour, then it restarts sometimes less than an hour, less and other days more. And the first restart, it tends to continue to restart after every 10 minutes. I went to Geek Squad and they also have no idea. They say it could be the PSU failure. When I replaced it with a new 1000-watt PSU, I was so pissed that it still turned off. If anyone can help out, I would be appreciated. And so yeah, you have the 9900K and you have the Kraken Z63 motherboard and the Strix Z390E gaming RAM. You have 16 gigs and you have the 3070. Yeah, let's think about this. So whenever I had this issue, so I had this exact problem. What I ended up doing was updating the BIOS. Well, okay, I'll tell them exactly. I had this exact problem with the 7950X. What I ended up doing, one, I updated the BIOS, these newer processors, need a BIOS update literally every time it comes out. Okay, that was the first thing I did. I turned off precision boost. Overdrive. Since you don't have this, I would try to turn off any overclocks to RAM and memory. Oh, I'm sorry, RAM and memory, that's the same thing. To RAM and CPU. And then 3, I disabled integrated graphics of the CPU itself in case it was interfering with the GPU and triggering the crash. All right, so let's see. Let's let him try those 3 and see what happens. The other resetting CMOS BIOS, if you're still getting the issue, and clean install the Windows. Yeah, don't do that. Go with what I said. But yeah, I think, well, the clean install of Windows maybe, but I wouldn't say that. I would say try all these. This is what I did to fix mine. So he probably will have something along those lines. But yeah, I get that kernel 41. That kernel 41 is infuriating because you don't know what it is and you think that it's power related. So you replace the power supply with an 850 to 1000, which is exactly the same thing I did, and it did nothing. And I still had the exact same issue, and I still have the 1000-watt power supply, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it because I think the 850 is probably enough for a 4090. But it is what it is, man. You run into these kind of issues, and you kind of just have to handle them. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. I think we only have a couple more, so and it's only 9 o'clock, bro. Like, I'm gonna have to add a bunch. So here, let's do this. Let's go ahead and just go back through, and let's just add a couple more. I don't know where it's going to add it to. Okay, it's going to add it back to the front. So let me just close a few. Showing, that's new. What is the minimum Intel graphics version CPU? Okay. So these 4 is where we're at. I don't want to close out all these, but I will. Because if I don't, it's just going to get confusing. Close. Okay, we're making progress. Sure. I don't even know what that says. I'll take it. Sure. Choosing a graphics card. Sure. Put a little mixture in there. I'm actually looking at the amount of comments. I don't want to grab something that has like 67 comments, like it doesn't do anybody any good. Because I'm just going to say something that somebody else probably already said. 0. Dun dun dun. 0. All right, cool. Let's do that. All right, so this is from Breckry18, and then they let me get some to drink. All right, cool. Out my butt. All right. So Breckry18 writes, new RAM help will boot with both old cards 4 gig, old card plus new card 10 gig, but not new card plus empty slot 8 gig on both new cards 16 gig. What? I recently inherited a 10-ish year old desktop with pretty mint hardware. It's fine for what it is. Spent $100 to replace the major bottlenecks. Old HDD that chugged when it hit 3 megabytes per second read and 2 gigs of RAM with a shiny new SSD and 2 8 gigs of RAM. It works now. I'll probably replace more when I can afford it. The CPU AMD Athlon 2 X4 640 is my next on my crap list, but that's a much more manageable bottleneck. Now to the point. The SSD went in flawlessly. I'm having some trouble with the RAM. The motherboard ASUS M4N68T and MV2 should support what I'm putting in, the 2 8 gigs of DDR3, 1600 megahertz. I first replaced both the cards. Computer turns on but doesn't boot. Made sure they were seated all the way. Clear CMOS, still nothing. Then I replaced one of the 8 gig cards, or 8 gig sticks. Replace cards with sticks. 8 gig sticks with old 2 gig sticks. Corsair DDR3 1333 and proof it boots up. Task Manager shows 10 gigs of RAM and everything. Try out some gaming and browsing and it runs great compared to what I started with. Booting with just one 8 gig card, second slot empty, yields the same results as the first run with all 16, no dice. So my conclusion is I can't run with the new sticks or needs the old sticks to boot, but once everything's up and running, it can then utilize the new sticks. That's just my uneducated guess, though. I have no idea what could cause that to be the case or how to fix it if that's even possible. What's important is there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the card itself, the sticks itself, at least the first one, or else I don't think the 10 gig combo would work. Yeah, it sounds like the max supported RAM may be 1333, and when you add the new stick with the old stick, it nerfs it to 1333. However, when you run the stick by itself or with two of the same type, it loads at 1600 megahertz and can no longer display the picture. So with this one here, I would say since you just bought it, try to replace the 1600 megahertz memory with 1333, or try to update the BIOS, but be careful. This guy is old enough that a update to the BIOS can be more trouble than it's worth. Yeah, it's kind of old, man. It may be more trouble than it's worth to update the BIOS, because he may update the BIOS and cause another issue. But yeah, I think that's his problem. I think that his real speed, the speed that the motherboard can handle on this particular BIOS is 1333, and him putting in 1600 sticks is causing a problem, because 1600 sticks by itself is 1600. But if you put it at 1333, it's gonna nerf the speed to both being 1333, thus it boots. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. That's a quick fix too. All right, look at you, Anthony, thinking on your feet. Good job, boy. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. All right. This is from BTC Trouser Snake. BTC Trouser Snake writes, Dell 5680 PSU upgraded but still won't power up. Okay. Hi, everyone, and thank you in advance for the help. Sure. I had a recent power surge and tripped my breaker. Happened before, and my PC is plugged into a surge protector, so I reset everything but found my PC wouldn't turn on. Okay, I completed the BIST test per the Dell forum and the PSU failed. I had a green light, but the fan wouldn't turn on and without components plugged in. Simple problem, right? Just upgrade the PSU. I did some research on the Dell forums and settled on the Corsair ARM 750. It's great. It's platinum too. Snag one from Micro Center, hooked it all up, and no power, 0 signs of life. I've checked my cables and multiple outlets, and I cannot figure out what is wrong. I've settled on a couple of other options to try tomorrow. Change CMOS battery. Okay. Check and potentially replace the power button switch cord. No idea if this would be an issue, but I'm desperate. Call Dell. Ugh. And take it to Micro Center and have them run some diagnostics to see if my motherboard is fried from the surge. Does anyone have any tips or options I can try? Dell 5680. PSU? But what's a Dell 5680? I think it's an all-in-one tower, isn't it? What? Yeah. It's a tower. Yeah, it could be motherboard, man. That sucks. Okay, so it won't boot. Okay, and you had a short, and you tried to power on, and won't power on. The chances of it being the button is highly, highly unlikely in a pre-built Dell case, and it was probably working just before the update. Oh, he has an update. Update tested the Corsair ARM 750 with a paperclip and it passed. Fan turned, brand new, so not a surprise. Went through and turned on with individual components plugged in. Nothing turned on. Started with the motherboard, so I'm thinking it's fried. Yeah, it sounds like a fried motherboard, bro. Sorry about that. I mean, it's not booting. Do any lights come on the motherboard when trying to power it on? Yeah, there's not a lot we can do here, man. If it's if you already replaced the PSU and it's still giving you problems, then yeah, I think you may have shorted the well, I don't think you did it. I think the motherboard may have shorted. I agree with you, man. I think you are troubleshooting it the perfectly right. I don't think there's anything more that needs to be said to that. Alright, so this is from Fire Nick. He says, I think my PSU is broken. I recently just finished my first build, and I noticed every time they put any type of load on the GPU, the PSU makes a buzzing sound. This is a sound of it when I was running Firmark. Okay, let me put on my headset. We're not going to make the same mistake we made previously and waste this man's time unnecessarily. So let's take a look at it so I can hear. Hold on. I can't. Can y'all hear anything? I can't hear anything. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm silly. Yeah. Yeah. That's the sound of it going out. I was originally yeah, core wine. Buzzing sound. It's possible it could be going out, but as the guy said below, it could also be coil wine. Well, it sounds like coil wine. Or I was really just thinking that it may be the sound of a fan or the fan hitting a cable, but it's too consistent. It's just a solid. And generally, if a fan is hitting it, it'll go. So, it could just be coil wine. Is it causing an issue? Let's go with that. Yeah, it's coil wine. He's right. Damn. I mean, I recently just finished my build. This is the sound. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of loud though, man. Like, I don't really know too many power supplies that give you that kind of coil wine, and I've went through a lot of them. So for it to give you that kind of sound, it makes me think that the power supply may be on its last legs or something along those lines. It's kind of strong, man. I don't know, man. I just, whenever I think about coil wine, this is probably the reason why I never thought of it when I first saw it until he said it. Coil wine, I usually think of GPUs as well as fans on motherboards, like fans for the NVMe SSDs. Those guys typically generate a lot of coil wine, but you don't really hear coil wine when you think of power supplies, especially new power supplies in a first build. You see what I'm saying? So if it's giving you coil wines, like, you just don't run into that anymore on power supplies. They barely ever spin up. So the fact that his fan in his power supply is spinning up to a point where he can hear it makes me think that his PSU really may be having some problems. So that's why I say what I say. And I wasn't originally thinking of coil wine, because when I think of coil wine, I think of the fan on the NVMe SSD as well as graphics cards. But yeah, it's is it causing an issue? Yeah, I think that his power supply may be going out. Also, oh, on that reply, but also if it's still under the 14-day return policy, I would exchange it. Kind of rare for a PSU to spin up its fan and whine like that unless it's hot or dying. It's so rare. I just don't see that happening very often. Not from a PSU. All right, man. Fire Nick. I hope that helps. Oh, my stomach. Oh, what happened? Oh my God, I'm so hurt. Okay, I'm good. My stomach was just being very unruly. All right, let's go to the next one. I think we're good on time. Yeah, we're good on time. All right, so this is from TTV, that guy fiend. Okay. Choosing graphics cards. I'm in need of a graphics card that is less than $350. I have a i7 9700K and 16 gigs of RAM. What kind of performance can I get paired with an ASRock RX 6600 8 gig DDR6 PCI Express 4 video card RX 6600 on a game like Rainbow Six Siege? What kind of performance can I get with something like that? Pretty good. Rainbow Six Siege is pretty low requirements. Pretty good. Rainbow Six Siege doesn't have all that strong of a requirement. The real question is what kind of monitor and resolution do you have and use? Yeah. Monitor and resolution is really where we're at here. If we don't know the monitor and resolution, we can't really tell you if it's good or not. There should be benchmarks available. Let's just say that unless you're trying to drive a 240 hertz monitor, performance will be more than enough. Yeah, assuming that you're playing at 1080p. Yeah, Rainbow Six Siege isn't really all that bad. Oh, he already said it. He had a 240 hertz monitor, but no, at my budget, I can't get that benchmark. You can't. Well, you may be able to if you can get a 3060. I have looked for videos, but nothing meets my specs. Any benchmark will have a more recent CPU, so you know that if your CPU is the bottleneck in those benchmarks, to expect less. Yeah, he doesn't mention what resolution. He just mentions that it's 240 hertz. It could be 240 hertz at 1080p for all I know, or 2K. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what kind of monitor he has. So yeah, I say the same thing. I agree with my colleagues here. Yeah, just what it is. So TTV, man, we just need some more information in order to get a good understanding of what your problem is. Yeah, we need to know what resolution and monitor you're using. But I get your hertz count, but I don't think you're going to hit that. Not at 1080 and not at 2K. Not for 350. Because I can't hit that at 1080p with a 3090. But that was in Call of Duty though. So Charming Variety 3325 writes, I want to upgrade my boot drive M.2, but obviously Windows is installed on it. Okay, and I want to upgrade to a better M.2. How do I do it? I don't mind reinstalling Windows again. It's a new PC and I can reinstall everything, but I don't want to mess up anything up when changing it. Is there a method or way to... Yeah, there is. Okay, so basically said, is there a method or way you're supposed to do this? I plan on reinstalling Windows on the new M.2 and putting my old M.2 as another slot. How do I do this successfully? Yeah, so to answer his question, and for anybody else who has this question, you do, what's the name of the program? Somebody asked this question like 3 months ago, and I had to look up the freaking program, and I was mad that I had to. Every time someone asks this question, I forget the name of the software every single time. What is it? All apps. It is called, no, I have that installed. It is called, something with an R. Can I buy a vowel? And don't remember again. Cloning software. Macrium. Reflect. I knew it started with an R. It's called Macrium Reflect. So what you would do here is get a USB to SATA adapter. Then download a program called Macrium Reflect and use that to clone your Windows drive to the new drive. If the new drive is bigger, be sure to put the C drive next to the unallocated space so you can extend it later. You will know what I'm talking about when you start the program. When it's done, test the new boot. I can't see that. Test the new boot drive. When it's done, test the new boot drive. If it works, then you can wipe the old Windows drive by right-clicking and hitting Format. Add it as the new secondary once the new SSD boots into Windows. That's how you do it. So what you want to do here is get a USB to SATA adapter, then download a program called Macrium Reflect and use that to clone your Windows drive to the new drive. If the new drive is bigger, make sure you put the C drive next to the unallocated space so you can extend it later. You will know what I'm talking about when you start the program. When it's done, test the new boot drive. If it works, then you can wipe the old Windows drive by right-clicking and hitting Format. Add it as the new secondary once the new SSD boots into Windows. That's what you do. You can just either reinstall it or clone the old drive. Yeah, clone the drive, but that's how you clone it. All right, charming variety. I hope that helps, but that's how you do it. Alrighty, this is from Academic Employer 94. I mean, the first thing I thought of when I saw that name is, can you actually be an employer at 94 if you were born in 94? But that's actually not that young. 94, 4, 14, 20. Okay, so you're almost 30 at that point. My bad. I didn't. I was born in the 80s. I didn't think that. I was thinking that 90s was young, but apparently I'm just old. Okay, quick question about a PC. I have been wanting to try Destiny 2. It's a great game, kinda, on PC, and I was wondering if it's worth it. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I have an XSX and a PC. My brother would let me have. The only needs a GPU and will be good to play games on. So should I get a GPU to try it and then have a PC, or just keep playing XSX, Xbox Series X? I will eventually get/build a PC sometime in my life. Either way, I know you guys will want the specs of the PC. So here, 2700X, 16 gigs of RAM, 3200 megahertz, 1 terabyte SSD, and an Asus motherboard. That's nice. He built it back in 2016, 2019, I believe, but he said it only have to replace the motherboard and CPU eventually, but said it'd work for what I need. He's right. Don't mean to be mean. I know little about PC, but know some I've learned, and just curious what y'all think. If it's worth it. I mean, is it worth it? Well, it's prettier than a XSX if you have the GPU to run it. It's prettier, but it may not be worth the financial investment, since you can simply run the game on the XSX. Maybe if you wanted to build the PC for other reasons, like editing or playing multiple games, or games that are PC only, etc., then I would say it would be worth it. Outside of that, I don't really see the point. And that's the way I look at it, man. Okay, you're talking about a mid-range GPU and a mid-range build versus an Xbox Series X. Well, Xbox Series X was meant to be mid-range. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if the eye candy will be at the level where you want it to be at, where you will actually notice a difference that you would actually enjoy. You know what I'm saying? This man might turn around and spend like $500-$600 to try to fix this computer and get it right. And, you know, for what? When you can just play on the Xbox Series X, I really don't see a point. If buying a new GPU RTX 600 around 240 USD, usually it would be plenty for 1080p gaming. Yeah, it would be, but at the same time, he also said that he would have to replace the. Oh, okay. So maybe if the computer works and all he needs to do is replace it, then yeah, that's fine with 1080p gaming. But you know what else is fine for 1080p gaming? The Xbox Series X. So that's what I'm saying. I just don't see a point. Like, you're not gonna gain anything from this. Not anything that you would like. Like, if you really just want eye candy, you know, Xbox Series X is pretty good, man. I'm not about to sit here and discount it for that. So yeah, academic employer. That's what I feel about it. I feel like you're not going to gain enough to actually be to feel some type of way about it. Now, if you were talking about a PS5, then I get you, because that guy has exclusives. But yeah, in this particular situation, no, I don't really see a point in doing that upgrade, especially if you already have an Xbox Series X that can run the game. Alrighty, this is from T Bandai. Okay, we're doing pretty good on time. We may go. Let me grab a couple more. Grab a couple of more. No, put that towards the end, because if I don't, then I'm just not gonna know where I'm at. Ooh, a 4090. Of course I want a 4090 question. I don't get those at all. Okay. All right, so this is from T Bandai. It's another troubleshooting from Troubleshooting Reddit. Let me get ready. All right, I think I'm good. Can y'all hear me? Okay, yeah. All right, showing boot but not entering setup. Hello, I'm building my first PC, testing it out before putting it into the case, and the computer turns on and the boot screen shows on my monitor. I then mash delete and it says entering setup, and it doesn't enter setup. I waited for 15 minutes plus rebooting and tried, but nothing, still gets stuck on entering setup. Of note, my motherboard, Gigabyte B650 Aorus Elite AX, shows a red light for VGA, but I've double checked, and my graphics card, AMD AMD RX 7900 XT, is plugged in. That's a nice card. I have that card too. It's plugged in correctly. Also, as mentioned, the boot screen is showing and my monitor is plugged into my graphics card. Is it a BIOS thing for my motherboard? You can't get to BIOS, bro. You probably have to reset it. Here's my build. Only difference is graphics cards are AMD reference, not the XFX. Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. I can't even see that. I didn't even know it was, okay. I really hope this doesn't mess up anything. Okay, does that hurt everything else? No, it doesn't. Good. All right, so he has a Ryzen 5 70. Oh, we're done talking. I'll let y'all see just so we can all see together. We're done talking because this guy has integrated graphics. So a Ryzen 5 7600X, Ryzen 5? Is it 7600X Ryzen 5? I guess so. ID cooling SE 226 all-in-one cooler. Or not, sorry, not all-in-one cooler, but CPU cooler. B650 Aorus ATX AM5 full-size ATX motherboard. 32 gigs of RAM DDR5. And then he has the 7900 XT. Oh, he has the XT, not the XTX. Okay, got you. Now I know what he's talking about. Okay. Practical design Pop Air ATX mid tower. Sorry. The Corsair RM850 Gold, the fully modular ATX version. And Windows 11 Home. Okay. Is it a BIOS thing? Well, remove the GPU. Well, it's very possible. A few things you can do. One, try to reset the BIOS to see if that fixes it. If not, remove the GPU and plug directly into the motherboard, as the 7600X has internal graphics. Then update the BIOS to the most up-to-date version. This is not negotiable with that CPU. Smiley face. Let me know if that works, bro. Yeah, so try to reset the BIOS to see if that fixes it. If you reset it and it doesn't fix it, then remove the GPU and plug directly into the motherboard, as the 7600X has internal graphics. Then update the BIOS to the most up-to-date version. This is not negotiable with that CPU. That's absolutely correct. The 7600X, the 7850, the 7800, and the 7950 or 7850X, whatever it is, 7850X. Those guys, you have to update the BIOS. You have to update the BIOS. If not, it's going to do exactly what he's talking about. Also, it's normal for it to take forever before you update the BIOS. Also, it's normal for it to take forever before you update the BIOS. Yeah. That's it, bro. That's it. I had that same problem. I was so scared. Like when I first got the 7950X or 7850X, whatever the hell it's called, I was so scared that I broke it or the RAM was bad because it wouldn't boot. It took so long. It would take 15-20 minutes before it actually booted because I kept taking it to code thinking I had a bad memory issue. And I couldn't really test it because it was between the memory issue and the fact that it takes like 5 to 10 minutes before it even starts booting properly anyway. It was so bad. It was so bad. But yeah, eventually I got past it. But you got to update the BIOS immediately on that guy. All right, Team Bandai, keep us posted. All right, so this is from Eddie Was Taken. Eddie Was Taken writes, what is the minimum Intel integrated graphics version CPU that can run 2 4K displays at 60 Hz? No gaming, just general use. Cheers. Well, all of them can run it. I would say like 7700, 7600, something like that. Yeah, he got me on it. I did not read these. Okay, I just want everybody to know I did not read these. We pulled these together. Y'all saw me when I pulled it and added it to the tab. So it was just random. I think we both were just happened to be on the same page. I would say the 7700, 7600, etc. would be ideal and could run to 4Ks quite easily with no gaming involved. Yeah. 7th gen, 6th gen, they both are in the same realm. I would say 7700, 7600, etc. will be ideal. So yeah, we're both on the same page. 6th gen, 7th gen, Intel. Ryzen, anything. 2nd gen, 3rd gen, any of those will do it. But he said Intel, so it is Intel. We'll just leave it at that. I hope that works. Eddie was taken, but yes, 6th gen, 7th gen would probably be the way to go on that. But just built my first PC. Congratulations, new phone. Who this 69? What an interesting username. I'm not saying all that. I'll just say new phones, rights. Just built my first PC. Super excited about it. I'm pretty unsure of myself at the same time. I have a 1070 Ti. That's a really good card for a GPU. And while I was playing a game, I looked at the metrics to make sure everything looked okay, at least in the eyes of a noob. And my GPU temp was 64 degrees Celsius, which is okay. And I thought that had to be pretty hot. It's not. Is that okay? Do I have my settings to high or something? Which, by the way, I really haven't touched too much. The only thing I've messed with in NVIDIA control panel is turning the resolution to 140 hertz natively. And that's basically it. Nope. That's fine. Not too bad for that card at all. Generally, 80 degrees Celsius plus is where most people start to get a bit more concerned. 86 plus people start to get worried. Yeah, I just think he doesn't know. Yeah, 64 is super normal. Yeah, so 86 plus. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, 64 is actually really good. Really good on the 1070 Ti. I was thinking like that Zotac, that Zotac 1080 Ti, the one that I laid rest to. That guy used to get super hot. But of course it was in ITX cases. But even when it wasn't in ITX cases, it always got super hot. I mean, like it always used to stay around 80 something. So you being around 64 is actually really good, bro. Congratulations. This is from Castrated Octopus. Okay, these names, bro. Let me grab a couple more before we finish up. We'll finish up after these. We'll grab, ooh, first built in a decade. Okay, you have my attention. I want a rare issue, man. What's up with these? Ooh, 2000. Okay. Okay, we'll do these last three. They sound interesting, and they have my attention. They sound like they might be fun, so I'll do them. T-Bandai, we already fixed. Eddie was taken, we already did. And, okay, cool. So we're here. Yeah, we're here. All right, so this is from Castrated Octopus, upgrading my PC. So I am planning to upgrade my PC, and I don't know that much about compatibility between parts. I currently have a B450 a Pro Max motherboard and a 1070, but I am planning to upgrade to an RTX 3060, and some people are telling me that it's not compatible with my motherboard. Okay, let me stand up real quick. My legs are falling asleep. Okay, hold on, let me get up. Okay, let's do this again. All right, so let's read that again. So this is from Castrated Octopus, and he says, upgrading my PC. So I'm planning to upgrade my PC, and I don't know that much about compatibility between parts. I currently have a B450A Pro Max motherboard and a 1070, but I am planning to upgrade to an RTX 3060. Okay, and some people are telling me that it's not compatible with my motherboard due to my PCIe slot. What? No, guy. Others are saying I will need some kind of riser. I just really want a proper answer if I can buy the 3060, if it will work with my motherboard. Thanks. Well, what kind of is it? Can I get an image? DDR4, SATA 3. I mean, it should be fine. Should be fine. I don't really see an issue here unless it's too big for the case. PCIe Gen 3 versus Gen 4 is not that much of a difference. Yeah, I'll go with that. It'll be fine. 60 Ti will be better bump if you can swing it. Yeah, it's fine. I don't really see a problem here. A lot of people have that issue, or they think that. They think that because they were like, okay, well, the board that I have is PCIe Gen 3, and I want to go with a 3060, but a 3060 is Gen 4. Will I be able to swing it? And the answer is always yes, because Gen 3 versus Gen 4 is really not that much of a difference because the graphics card isn't utilizing all of that Gen 4 bandwidth at all. So yeah, you can run Gen 3 on that all day long. I've run plenty of 30 series cards on PCIe Gen 3 and thought nothing of it. As a matter of fact, I tried to run bifurcation with 30 series cards with PCIe Gen 3 bifurcation. In other words, splitting them into two PCIe Gen 3 X8s. And I used to get that to work, but I can't get it to work anymore. But when I had it like that, it was great because you can then run a where's it at? I don't know where I did with it. Oh, it's in that case. Okay, I used to run the it's a capture card that you can run and basically play your PS5 on your PC. So I used to have a capture card in one slot and then a graphics card in the other. So yeah, you can do a lot with that kind of stuff. You can do PCIe Gen 3 X8 instead of a Gen 3 X16, and it'll still be fine. So yeah, it'll be fine, bro. You're good. Alrighty. So this is from West Airline 3955. Where am I at? I thought I had more. Oh, maybe I didn't. Well, we had 37, so I think we're okay. All right. So West Airline 3955 writes, motherboard for 13900K plus 4090. Jesus Christ. You sound like me. Okay, I'm building a 13900K plus a 4090 system mainly for gaming. Of course you are. I had settled on the MSI Z790 Carbon as a good middle ground for something that can overclock decently, but looking at pricing, the EVGA Z690 Kingpin is only about $50 more. But one's a C690 and one's a 790? What choice would you go with? And if not one of these, what board would you recommend for a machine that will mostly be doing VR gaming? My budget is about $500 max, but I am currently having a hard time seeing the upsides compared to the many $300 boards. I plan to run 232 gigs of DDR5 if that matters. Most people with that kind of board would be running that. Thanks in advance for your advice. I mean, I do find it interesting that if you have a 13900K and a 4090 and 64 gigs of RAM, $50 difference swing isn't gonna hurt you. So I don't see what we're doing here, but okay, bro. I'll play. Why not? Let's take a look at these. Let me see. Show me. Ooh, that's pretty. I'll go with this one because it's so pretty. 2 8-pins. That's tough. That's 2 8-pins and a 6-pin. Jesus Christ, this board is fire. What's the other one? I mean, wow. That thing can have several different M.2 cards. I mean, they both really nice. I mean, really just kind of depends on what you want to do, bro. Like, I don't really see one versus the other or anything like that. I think they're both really good. How much is it? Oh, it's really expensive. I get why. Where'd he go? We got so many tabs open and can't even find them. The Kingpin, the EVGA Kingpin is only about $50 more. What choice would you go with if not one of these boards? I think both are great. I really don't see a $50 swing hurting you all that much when you have a 13900K and 4090 plus 64 gigs of RAM. I'm not saying that to shame you. What I mean is this. Pick the board that has the peripherals that you want or may need in the future. For example, if you think that you will need a ton of NVMe storage, pick the board that has the most, even if it's a $50 difference, because you don't want to regret it later. Hope that helps. Yeah, that's what I would say, man. I used to do that too, man. Whenever I was like, okay, so throughout life, man, there's certain parts of you that, one, you think that whenever you spend money on yourself that you don't deserve it, right? Because it's like, okay, well, there's other people that would be more deserving of this and all that kind of stuff. So you're afraid to spend money on yourself, right? So there's that part to it. So then it's like, okay, well, I want to spend money on myself, but I don't want to spend too much. But if you're gonna go 13900K and 4090, you're all in, right? Because that's the best. You don't get better than that. So if you're already all in, then there's no point at I'm just making sure I'm in focus. If you're already all in, then there's no point in tripping over $50. Especially if you're gonna go 232 gigs whenever you're gonna do VR gaming. Like, you're gonna do VR gaming, bro. Like, you're not going to need that much RAM. So you're already on overkill anyway. So if you're already on overkill anyway, then $50 isn't going to hurt you, meaning that get the board that's going to have the features that you may want in the future, even if you don't want them now, because that's going to be better for you than tripping over $50 in your case, because you already got the best. 14900 plus 13900K, you're already looking at $2,400 easy. So that's why I say that. So yeah, I hope that helps. It's designed for extreme overclocking with LN2. If you're cooling and CPU with air cooling water for daily use, you reach the same overclocks on either motherboard, right? The Carbon is a great motherboard for a little under 500 with the WB My Choice. Yeah, I would say that I think they're both great. I don't really see a $50 swing hurting all that much when you have a 13900K and 4090, 64 gigs of RAM. I'm not saying that to shame you. What I mean is this. Yeah, just pick what's best for you, bro. You'll be fine. Alrighty. Good looking boards, though. All right, this is from Aibu. Aibu writes, first build in a decade, I need help. Okay, yeah, you have my interest. I've purchased some parts on Boxing Day, but I still need a CPU, motherboard, case, and monitor. I don't play graphic intensive games, but I do like playing D2R. What is that? D2R? Diablo? No. WoW, yes. D2R? I don't remember. Which makes me feel bad, but whatever. The PC will mostly be used for productivity, amateur video editing, and amateur SketchUp. You won't be an amateur if you keep going, bro. 1080 Ti was gifted, so I worked around it. I gave a 1080 Ti away before, too. I get that. What would be the best as a CPU, motherboard, case, and monitor? I want to go MATX and ultra wide. Oh, okay. Did you say a budget? So CPU 12600K, CPU cooler, deep cool. So yeah, not the best cooler in the world. It sounds like you may set it on fire. I don't think it's spec for that. Oh yeah, it's fine. Not great, but fine. Wi-Fi, micro ATX, LGA 1700 motherboard. That's cool. 32 gigs, DDR4. DDR4 is on the 12600K. I guess so. It's I mean, yeah, DDR4. And then 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, and then a 1080 Ti, the one he has. And then the Fractal Design Pop Mini Air Micro ATX Mid Tower case. Fractal Design Pop Mini Air? Oh, it's pretty. Okay. And the NZXT C650 watt 80 go power. I probably wouldn't, because he's already so close to that price point. He should go for either the 750 Platinum or the 850 Platinum. The reason why is because he's going to eventually upgrade past that 1080 Ti. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that monitor. Okay. Okay, so you should go for the Corsair 750 Platinum or 850 Platinum, because you're going to need to upgrade past that GPU to run that monitor. Oh, it's 75 hertz. I thought it said 175 hertz. Well, he said he does light gaming. He doesn't do a whole lot of gaming. He just does productivity. Well, if he does productivity, he should be all right. And WoW doesn't require much. That because you're 850 Platinum, since the prices are pretty close, and you may want to upgrade past that 1080 Ti in the future. Outside of that, looks good. I'll just say that it looks fine. I don't really see anything wrong there. I mean, that 650 I'd probably get away from, but outside of that, I feel I'm not knowledgeable enough to understand the tables and such. I was set up on the LG monitor, but I've been reading here and there that my GPU might not handle 1440p, but others say it's all good. Yeah, it should be fine if you're not playing a whole lot of gaming. We're talking about WoW here. Decide the size resolution. Yeah, you can go down, but I don't think you're gonna need to, because WoW is fine. I don't know what D2R is. Okay, I'm about to feel real stupid. Okay, it is Diablo 2. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was Diablo 2. Both of those two games are fine. Did I say Diablo? I feel like I said Diablo. But both of those games can run that. Now, can it push it at 75 hertz? He might get 60, but I think he'll be all right. At medium settings, medium to low settings, he'll be fine. But even so, yeah, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. Won't be great, but he'll be all right. He'll eventually want to upgrade that graphics card, though. All right, we're going to call this the last one. It's been a long day. And then we're going to hit the hay. So this is from Agreeable Display 946. And he said, is this a good $2,000 gaming rig? Here's my build. Okay, you have my interest. Let's do this. Micro Center. Oh, sweet. Okay, so 7600X. And then he has the Strix, the ROG Strix AM5, full-size ATX motherboard, okay? Then he has 32 gigs, 216s of DDR5. When I bought it, the 64, it was like $500. I was so mad. I don't want to talk about it. Lee Land Cool 216 RGB tempered glass ATX mid-tower case. That's a very good case. And then Corsair RMX 850. 850 80 plus gold. That's a good power supply. And then he has a 47. Oh god, that 4070 Ti. We just watched a video about that. I wouldn't, but you know, whatever. Save you some money. Is this a good bill for around $2,000? Although it's missing a cooler, which I'm going with the Arctic Liquid 2 Freeze for about $120, totaling around $1988. Oh well. Most people look at the 4070 Ti as a crappy deal. The 3090 and 3090 Ti used are on par for cheaper. The 7900 XT and XTX are better, and the price point is just a bit too high to justify the card itself. You may be better off with an open box for cheaper and still get similar results, but I get the new bug. So yeah, this is a good build, but so yeah, this is a good build. Hope it works out, bro. I'm curious to see what everybody else is thinking. Since you're shopping at Micro Center, you can get a better CPU and RAM for $30 cheaper. 7700X comes 7700X. Oh, the CPU. 7700 comes with 2 free 16 gigs CL30s if your store has it, specifically the G-Skill Flare. Yeah, they do have specials, but I don't know what those specials are. They change all the time. Which Micro Center are you closest to? A few thoughts. The 7600X comes with a deal that gets 5600 megahertz for free, so definitely take up on that offer. A good air cooler is fine for the 7600X, saves a good amount of money. I would also, with a less expensive motherboard, seems odd in my opinion to spend more on motherboards. The 980 Pro is inexpensive and won't provide any better gaming performance. He's right. But I mean, if you're already going to spend $2,000, who am I to tell you not to use a 980 Pro? You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. I just didn't see a point in letting them know, like, the Saber turned Rocket 4 for much less, but the Saber, I mean, they're both on par with each other. They're both really good. But 980 Pro, you know, okay, I have both. I have the Saber turned Rocket 4 and I have the 980 Pro, and they both work just fine. So I'm not really the one to say yay or nay to an NVMe over a different NVMe, because they both are pretty resilient. There are much less expensive, still good quality power supplies. Didn't we say his power supply is a bit? No, I'm okay with that. I disagree on that one. That's a good one. I wouldn't try to save him no money on that, because he's okay with spending $2,000. If he's already okay with spending $2,000, then why would I tell him not to go for another one that's cheaper? Because he's already okay with it. So, you know, you can go with something a little bit cheaper, but I wouldn't do it. Not on the power supply, mostly because you may want to upgrade, and you don't have to upgrade the power supply if you go in at the beginning. So if you go in for 850 watt, if you decide to go for something a little bit better, you can. What else did anybody else say? Which Micro Center, blah blah blah. The below ads of the 4080 while taking advantage of the free RAM deal. Oh, that's a good idea. You could save some money if a cheaper 4080 is in stock at your local Micro Center, or alternatively go with the 4070 Ti as you're originally planned and save a few $100s. Ooh, this man is pro. 850 watt gold, certified modular ATX power supply with the Lian Li, and the same thing with an RTX 4080, and then the Saban Rocket Torrent 4 terabyte NVMe, and then the 32 gig 216s of DDR5 with the B650 Oris, and they got it on a discount with the AMD Ryzen and the Deep Cool. Oh wow! Oh snap! Okay, well obviously I'm not very good with Part Picker, and I just got smoked. Yeah, this dude. How do I upvote him? I like that. He right. Go with what he said, because I just got my butt handed to me. But yeah. I'm not very good. I've never done PC Part Picker. I'm just looking at the components and being like, yeah, that works. But yeah, he's absolutely right. That's a way better deal, and he can go for a 4080 with that. And what is he at? 2081 plus mail-in rebates. He's at 2081, and this guy was already at 2000. 1988. Okay, so it's $100 more, but he gets the 4080, which is better. So yeah, congrats to him. Pro. All right, so we're gonna finish this day off with an L. That's not gonna happen. Let me take one more. I'm not about to sit here and finish this day with an L. It's not happening. Let's do B-side. Why not? All right, so we're gonna try. Let's see if we can turn that around. PSU or CPU failure. Experiencing 3 B-sides during light FPS gaming, 2 frozen screens during normal browsing, and 1 sudden restart during light FPS gaming. Build CPU Ryzen 3600, PSU Silverstone ET650, ASRock B450M, and a GTX 1660 with RAM 3600 to 216 gigs. I purchased a new thermal paste, but CPU temps was along 55 to 62. Okay. Also purchasing a new PSU from a Cooler Master about 850 watts. I recently added Lian Li Steimer 24 pin and added new X4 Lian Li case fans too. Could the mini RGB lights be causing the problem? What? No. Experiencing 3 B-sides during light FPS gaming. No. Don't think it's RGB. So what you want to do is go to start event viewer, system, and go down to the timestamp of your issue to see what your critical errors are and go from there. You can look them up to get a better idea of the issue. 2 frozen screens. Okay, experienced in 3 blue screens of death during light FPS gaming, 2 frozen screens during normal browsing, and 1 sudden restart during light FPS gaming. To get a better idea of the issue. If all freezes and B-sides show the same critical error, then that is your issue. All right, cool. Finish on a W. That was a hard L, man. That hurt me. That hurt my soul. That was a hard L. My man went to PC Part Picker and saved him money and gave him a $2,800 more. Ouch. I don't even know how I replied. I should have looked down and saw that and just ran away. But yeah, props to him, man. Hey, as long as you help the customer, at the end of the day, we all helping people. So it is what it is. But yeah, this is a redeeming one. Did you try to reseat the 24 pin and change out the PSU? You have enough power, but maybe it's just old and crapping out. Yeah, you can go that route, but I would rather just go to Event Viewer and look it up. Now, if they all say kernel power, then yeah, I would look at 24 pins, power supply, stuff like that. But yeah, there's no way to know what well, there is a way to know, but ideally you want to go to Event Viewer and just take it from there. Okay, we'll call that a W. All right, nervous anemone. I hope that helps. And I think we'll call it there. Yeah, I think we're good. Alrighty, guys, that was fun. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you really like it, go ahead and subscribe. I love you, by the way. Take care, all the best, and bye.